Continued coverage here on Sky Sport Next. It's great to have your company, and we're into the big game now, a repeat of last year's final. It is the Metro Lions taking on the South Auckland Raiders, the Raiders in the purple, the Metro Lions in the black, and great chance to introduce in co-commentary Jimmy Hunter, or Jim is his real name, but Jimmy Hunter as they call him. And Jim, fantastic to have you here, mate. Thanks so much for joining us, and this is really what we've been looking forward to, two fantastic teams.
Absolutely, it has been a wonderful day of football so far. Colts final was a great close battle. The women's final was reasonably close, obviously running away with it a bit at the end. Now it's time for the men's final, and everyone is amped.
Mate, I'm looking forward to your contribution, and considering you are the reigning champion of the flag football, as it's known.
Flag football, yes.
Flag football, and you've been around for, well, you told me, I don't believe you still look so young, and I can't believe you've been in the game for 30 years. But sideline for us this afternoon is Shiraz Soyser. And Shiraz, these are two great teams. Really, they deserve to be here. What are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, look, absolutely. I think it's been a really closely contested game last time these teams played, and just looking forward to more of that. And you know, defending champs up against the losing finalists last year. So, you know, what else can you ask for?
You're around the game a lot. It's in your blood, and you know a lot of the players as well, obviously. Who are the key guys to watch out for in these two teams? In particular, let's look at the Metro side first.
Yeah, look, you know, up and down the roster, Metro are star-studded. I reckon a couple of players to look out for on defence will be Darcy Williams at number 3. Darcy's, you know, one of the probably the best defensive back playing the game at the moment. So look for him on the back end and trying to pick balls off. And their quarterback, Tino Meredith, has come leaps and bounds, and he's having a fantastic season. Well,
that's the great thing about it, is because you're right on cue with regards to the names and the players that are here. The graphics, they've been working overtime. They've been doing the names since about 8 o'clock last night. This is a big squad. And as you mentioned, for the Metro Lions, there is that Darcy Williams in the defensive line. Of course, he is the New Zealand Marco captain as well, isn't he, the defensive captain? But there is the lineups for our viewers at home, and there's plenty of players that will make an impact. You can see the assistant coaches as well and the assistant managers. It is quite a squad of players that Metro have brought to Manurewa. And Jim, their opponents, well, they've got a big squad as well with regards to the South Auckland Raiders.
Well, the South Auckland Raiders as well, you know, like you mentioned the Metro Lions squad being big. I think, you know, the South Auckland Raiders are bigger. If you saw that play introduction before, that took a lot longer than it usually would. So, look, it's great. The thing about the Raiders is I think they're a lot more balanced. You know, they don't rely on a few players. They rely on the whole roster up and down contributing. So, yeah, fantastic battle.
Quarterbacks for both teams, who are they?
So
Shrez?
I talked about Tino earlier, who's a quarterback from Metro. Tino's a pocket passer. He's more of a player who relies on accuracy and keeping a clean pocket. Whereas Tolu, the quarterback for the Raiders, he's much more of a much more of a slippery quarterback. He gets out of the pocket, he runs play action, runs bootlegs really well. So two different styles, but should be a really entertaining game.
So Metro in the black, South Auckland Raiders in the purple. The scene is set, conditions pretty good too. Jimmy, if you're out there, obviously the nerves are going, but not bad overhead conditions. A breeze playing right to left, which is going to favour the side, obviously playing that way.
Indeed, yeah. I think the breeze has actually just picked up. Classic America's Cup styles at 4 o'clock, the wind picks up. So yes, definitely favouring Metro Lions at the moment as it runs right to left as we look at it. It's not too bad. It's something to make passing into the wind a little bit more challenging, but these guys have played in all conditions, all rain, wind. It's not going to faze them.
Well, they're going to have the advantage of that breeze that we talk about at the start of this game. Metro with their kicker and Sam Canistry. And so Canistry will get us underway. South Auckland Raiders with first possession. They are in the purple. The 2021 final is upon us. This is the Super Bowl of Saturdays here in Auckland. Strap yourself in wherever you are around the country. We're underway.
Huge kick. Huge kick. Untouched into the end zone. That's going to come back as a touchback, so the Raiders will bring the ball out.
That's a massive kick, as you mentioned, boy, using the wind at its full strength. Terrific kick.
Maybe that breeze has picked up.
So the Raiders, as we identify a couple of the big boppers that they've got up front, in jersey 52, James Aoraki, in jersey 75, keep an eye on him as well. Tima Avariki, Dave, boy, he's going to take some moving. And also in jersey 24, Vincent Sua. What's the play here, quarterback? Is this where you just get your running game started?
Yeah, it's kind of, I think as a player you want to get that first contact, you want to get your first block in, your first run in, into the wind, 50-50, but you probably go with the run here, just get it settled.
Tulu Petoniesi is the quarterback. He's got the running back there, the dummy fake, and now looking for the pass, the first pass of the game, looking to try and find Masi. Incomplete. And he certainly had a runner that was available. Fela Tufui was the man that was there. Nice throw early on.
A very good throw. Don't mind the wind. We'll have a nudge.
Second down.
So yeah, it looked like it just held up a smidge. I think if it had carried another step or two, he was probably gone.
Tell you what, he had a step on him.
He did. I think he was behind him. I don't think anyone. Well, I certainly wasn't calling for a pass first up, but 2nd and 10 now.
So the intentions shown early from the South Auckland Raiders. Thought they'd run the ball, but now looking to try and get that 1st and 10, 2nd and 10 call. Snap is called, and now the running lateral is Sua, and he's caught. Tempers flare a little.
Yeah, everyone's going to be a bit tetchy at the start. Everyone's pretty amped up. I think as a player, you know, your nerves are all before the game, and then once the game starts and you get into it, get those first few hits into you, then everything settles down. As a coach, I always found that it was far more relaxing leading up to the game, and then once it starts you get nervous. So tale of two halves.
Sua picks up a yard, and so it's 3rd and 9. Waiting the snap. Petoniesi, the fake, and now the offload to Sua. Looking to try and break the first tackle, does just that, does Muller. And now Muller brought down in a beautiful team tackle. Boy, there were about 3 or 4 of them that were there to greet him.
Yeah, solid call. 3rd and 10. A screen play is where you sort of set up for a pass, and then you get your big lineman sneaking out into the flat and throw it back to your running back. Metro Lions there, far too good for that, and just swarmed it and closed it down within steps.
Great defence being shown here.
Should be 4th.
Yeah, should be 4th down, which it is.
Setting up pump formation.
4th down. Don't touch the snapper.
Well, the ball will hold up in the breeze a little higher than he probably would have wanted it originally, but that's a nice punt. That's going to find some free real estate. Picks up and goes. Yes, he is going to have a go here. There's Vili. Shepherd Vili bounced off and brought down just around the midway line.
That is great starting field position for Metro. They'll be happy with that. Early exchanges. You obviously want to, if you're not going to get an interception, which are like gold dust around here, but certainly get the ball at the half, you'd be pretty happy with the tailwind.
Well, 3-0, Shiraz, so that'll be disappointing for obviously the Raiders.
Look, the way I look at it, I actually think that was a really positive start. You know, they showed their cards early. We thought they were going to start off with a run. They actually started off with a deep pass, and that's that aggressive mentality. And I think they'll be heartened. You know, they saw that there's opportunities.
What can they produce here?
Spotted.
Tino Meredith, the quarterback, gets the snap, looks for a runner, and he finds one in Vili. Vili brought down around the line of scrimmage, may have picked up one or two.
Yeah, probably two. Nice little settle in there. It looked for a second that he was going to get half a lane out there, but that lane certainly closed.
Second
quickly.
down.
That's the thing, isn't it? It just shuts down so quickly. You think it's there, and as you just try and get through it, it shuts down.
Yep, there's the old adage for a running back is you got to trust your blockers. You just got to follow into that lane and trust that they're going to open it up. And some days there's a chasm, and some days there's a wall.
The I formation from Meredith again. Goes to the play. They almost botched it there, and now they come through to the Raiders to shut it down quickly.
I think half the squad were there for that tackle. Yeah, coming back into the middle again. And I think this is probably one of those things that for people that don't watch much football, you're wondering why they're going to run the ball into the middle there. Some cases that's going to open up, but if you don't run that pass, then run that play, then when you're going to try and play action off it, what you want to do there is get the defence to think that you're going to run it, and then keep the ball, throw it back over the top.
Create some space. Sure.
So 3rd and 9, pretty big one to get here.
Same set up. Meredith
Pass.
drops back now, looks to pass, gets a bit of time and gets a nice pass out to one of his big linemen as well, and his brother Isaiah Meredith catches it, gets a few metres, but looks like they're going to have to punt on this occasion, Jim.
Yep, that's it's not too atypical in a championship game where both teams, especially on defence, they're going to come flying. As soon as that ball gets out in the flat, they get 3-4 people out there. As those legs get a bit tired as the game wears on, they're not quite as much coverage, but yeah, we'll see whether or not he can pin them in with obviously tailwind. It's hard to keep it in field of play on this punt.
Leave the centre, leave the kicker.
But as a defence, you'd be watching for a trick play here as well, wouldn't you?
Chemistry, no trick play there, just a ball that didn't really make any good contact. He sort of caught it on the inside of the boot, and it's just gone straight into touch. Be a reset from the 28-yard line inside the half of the Raiders. Well, this is what you expect in finals. This is what finals footy is all about too. Absolutely. Nothing given.
No, absolutely not. You've got to go and claim every single inch if you're a fan of your movies. But yeah, I think that's a pretty standard opening exchange from both teams. I think these second drives, everyone's kind of got those nerves, got that play out of the way, settle down and play some football.
Here's the other great thing too, Jimmy. These guys know each other. You know, they play each other. They would have been around the circuit for a wee while, and so they know what it is about the strengths and the weaknesses of their opposition.
Absolutely.
Tolu Petoniesi looks for a run up, finds a seam, and that's a nice run too, straight down Main Street. Beautiful run from Muller. Picks up 8 metres, 8 yards on the charge. Lovely gap.
Fantastic, and that's where you're running up. Trust your blockers. They create that little seam. Yeah, I think for these teams as well, it's been a pretty disjointed season. Obviously, the world's been COVID impacted, but these guys haven't had the season that they would normally have had, and they haven't had the opportunity to play alongside each other. So there is going to be a little bit of rust that they're going to have to wear out as well. 2nd and 2. Muller with the first charge, gets over, and now there's a flag in the backfield, but will stay with play as they get the first down, provided there's no foul.
May have been holding, though. One of the players, I think, from the South Auckland Raiders will listen in.
Yeah, early signal was holding, so we'll see the announcement.
Holding 64 offence. 10-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
So Whenua been caught on that occasion. Whenua marker 54. Was a nice run from the South Auckland Raiders. They got 8 yards in the first carry, plenty in the second, but they'll come back with the penalty.
Yeah, you never want to obviously give up penalties because you want to be going forward, but not too bad a hole to be in. If you're going to get a holding penalty close to your first down line,
Second down,
it's effectively
ball
like an
spotted.
incomplete first down. So it's still 2nd and 10, it's still manageable from here.
Tony Essie, they are using the running game, getting back to the line of scrimmage with that ball, and that carry was Marcy, Solomoni Marcy. Still around 6 or 7 short.
I think we've got an injury here.
And he was taken down in a very heavy tackle. There were plenty of Metro players there to meet him.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4 in on that one, and it is
Officials timeout.
very easy to get bent up the
Injured
wrong
player.
way in there. You never want to have that in any game, and certainly not in a final. And he does look to be in a lot of discomfort.
What changes, Jim, in a final? I mean, you've been around the game, you've played it for 30 years, you've been in plenty of finals yourself. What changes and what's the difference? Is it a mindset, or is it just, what is it? What gets you across the line?
Well, I think it's going to vary by player. I think it's that intensity is a cliche word to use here, but it is intensity. When you're playing your regular season and you're playing your 10-match regular season, you got to show up every week. You got to play your games, but actually getting into semi-finals and getting into playoffs, that steps up a level. Getting into finals steps up a level. Everything's more intense, and your plays, whether they're positive or negative, they're going to magnify in this stage.
You, as one of the architects, by being the quarterback, meant that you had to make sure that you were on point as well, and so were the players around you. Things happen quicker in finals. Is that what the difference? The speed of the game is so much quicker, or is it just another game? How did you approach it?
Oh, I always try and approach it the same way. I sort of once heard a line. I once heard a line that it's the same rules, it's still 11 on 11 and it's the same field. So it's easy to sort of have that as a conversation, but when you're actually out there and you know that this is the final, this is what you want, right? You don't play football to play regular season, you play football to play finals.
Great thing is, Shiraz, that the injured player is up and walking. That's terrific to see.
Yeah, that's really good news, and that's what you want to see. You want to see players.
So Kuvaji was the man that was injured. He's up and back on the sideline, which is great for everybody concerned, and now it's 3rd and 7. They've gone with the running game on the first couple. This time they're faking now, looking for the pass. There is the pass, just falling a little short of the intended receiver in Vincent Sewer. And that leads to a 4th down.
Yeah, he slipped out from the backfield there and just didn't quite set his feet on the release. And there are times, actually, sometimes the hardest pass to throw is when the guy's wide open, because you don't want to throw it as hard as you might normally throw it. You just want to just baby it in, and then it never quite makes it.
Tell you what, number 52 from Metro Lions, he's been having, he's made a couple of massive stops so far, and he was the guy who got in front of that pass as well. So keep an eye on him. He's off to a flying start. First year in this grade, coming up from the Colts.
Smartavelli is the man that Shiraz is talking about here. The kick is the Raiders. Nice height, good height into some open space, and that'll be marked down at the 44.
Yeah. So if a kicking team recover their own punt, or they catch their own punt, which you can do, then it's dead at the spot. You'll sometimes see, even at NFL level, that the kicking team will run by and sort of just pat the ball or touch the ball. It's still a live ball at that point, and the defensive team can actually pick it up and run if they wanted to, or the receiving team can pick it up and run. So in this case, it's good. Catch the ball, hand it to an official, as we always tell people, and that kills the play.
A lot of the receivers, though, on a punt as well, though, Jimmy, they want to get away from there, don't they? You don't want to be anywhere near it for it to bounce and actually hit you and become a live ball.
Correct, yeah, because if you do touch it and it livens it, then your receiving team get basically a free play.
Metro again in the same formation. Tino Meredith, the quarterback, calls for it, offloads. Boy, that's great defence from the Raiders, meeting them at the gain line and driving them backwards. That could be a loss in yards there.
Yeah, so where the players' forward progress gets stopped, that's where they'll mark the ball, where the ball is when the players' forward progress. So in that situation where they are driven back, it'll come back in this case pretty much to the line of scrimmage. I think we'll call that second and 10. It's not going far from there, but yeah, absolutely swarming from the Raiders. They were about 4 or 5 there as well.
Exactly. Penny Murphy, Taufo in jersey number 5 for the South Auckland Raiders on that occasion. Boy, he got up, and thanks for explaining that to the audience, Jimmy, and to me about where it is, the point of where they need to have it. Now, again, no way down. That's Big Bopper Street. You got to be strong to go down there.
That is some hard yards in the middle there. Yeah, I think it's you got to kind of, if you just start running outside, then they can jump outside easier. But they're trying to establish that middle run game, and that's going to set up everything else off it with the play action.
Especially with the blue helmet on, Lance Leota up the middle. Lance has played a couple of years at Grossmont College in the States, and he's just coming off that number 3 for the South Auckland Raiders.
Boy, you can see that impact that's had, and you mentioned him, Shiraz. He has been unmovable.
Oh, false start.
Looked like a false start, yep. Somebody jumped the gun. Who do you think?
Yeah, receiver on the far side. Looked like they were going to get away early. 3rd and 10, quite commonly a passing down, and receivers often get a little bit excitable. So yeah, I think he was pretty keen to get out of the gates there, and unfortunately that's going to cost his team 5.
False start. Offense, number 7, 5 yards, replay down.
Yeah, he was trying to get downfield, wasn't he?
A lot of the times we tell receivers to just look in at the football, wait to see it snapped. A false start by a receiver is one of the cardinal sins of football.
Tino Meredith goes back into the pocket. 3rd and 15, spins the ball, looking for the pass. It's held up nice and high. McClure was the intended receiver. Connor McClure was out in the open, jersey 81.
Just enough wind to just carry it at a yard. It's the toughest throw to make as a quarterback, is that little bit of wind and just adjusting. You kind of want to take just 2% off, 1.8% off, otherwise it just drifts past. And that definitely had a step there. It looked like it was going Shiraz. You see it? Yeah,
look, it's only a matter of time before those connect. Quarterbacks calibrate for that wind, and we'll be off going.
So 4th and plenty. They'll look to kick here. They've got the breeze at their back as well. Have Metro Lions.
See if we can get a better connection on this one. Solid. That's got a good hang on it. Should be returnable though.
And it is returnable into the arms of Atoafa. Atoafa brings the ball back strongly and holds on to it. Good defence as well. Coming in from Shepherd Villy in jersey 24, but that's a nice return from Atoafa.
A very good return. He picked the spot well. Punt return is also known as the suicide squad. You've got guys flying down at you at full speed. So to get a chance there to catch and return is fantastic. And
I've never heard that expression.
Ball spotted.
A great job here to hang on to the ball right at the end. They were definitely going for a strip, and held on. It would have been a shame to turn it over after that good return.
And Shiraz, this is pretty much what we expected in the final, isn't it? It's an arm wrestle. There were never going to be easy points in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's a real chess game out there.
Tony Yesi looks for the fake, and now he gives his runner a little bit more time. Beautifully run, beautifully paced and caught as well. Beautiful play there. Down to Sevilla, Miracle Sevilla, and he's performed a miracle as well. Waited for the ball to actually arrive with 2 defenders there, and what a play from the South Auckland Raiders.
Now that is how you carve off some yards. It just hung up. The defenders there got caught, probably expecting it to hold up a little bit more, but wow, 40, 50 yards like that. For all that tough running where you're getting 1 yard, 2 yards, all of a sudden you throw it and there's 40.
Into the wind too, wasn't it?
Yes, don't mind if I do.
So, ball marked at the 18-metre mark, 18-yard line rather, and that's all they've got to go is 18 to the first touchdown. Nice throw there from Tolu Petoniesi. They'll go to the running game here possibly.
Oh,
someone's
a bit early.
Eager to get off the start line.
Yeah, left side there I think. Pretty much left side of the line, we're off downfield blocking.
False start.
False start. Offense number 24. 5 yards, replay first down.
Vincent Sewer on that occasion, Shiraz, and they set themselves up beautifully, but just a little bit anxious.
Those penalties really hurt, right? Because you've got a confined field now. You've just got a little bit further to go to get that touchdown. So, yeah, let's not be surprised if this doesn't come back to bite them.
Surely the objective here, Jimmy, is just 1st and 10, right? Just work your way to that 10-yard, just get the 10 and then just get another 10.
Absolutely.
Now, the fake, and then they offload and look to try and run, tries to get on the outside, but can't. That defensive line again, that swarming defence coming in from the Metro. On that occasion, it was in Jersey. One of the players there in 30.
25.
25, yeah, it was too.
That was a classic counter, that one. They tried to fake the defense into inside run before they turned
Second
it out.
down.
Metro Lions are right there to stop it.
Yeah, it's obviously once you're getting closer to the goal line, we tend to call about the red zone once you're getting inside 20, but we've still got plenty of space. You want to work it up, getting a first down here and get your 4 cracks at a nice short field into the goal.
2nd and 16, 4 to play in the first quarter of this, the final of the 2021 New Zealand AF Federation champs. And now he's bought some time looking to try and find that spot that he found Severe in the first time that they went down the left-hand side. Couldn't on that occasion. Got a bit of time there, Jimmy, too, did the quarterback.
He did, and this is what we're talking about with the play action. So as he sets, he makes like he's going to hand off to the running back, which just freezes those defensive line, the linebackers in particular. Then he just sets up and has a throw. He had a little window there. I think it would have been quite impressive to have completed that one. I think Darcy Williams had it covered. But yeah, it's 3rd and a long downtown.
This is why those early penalties early in the down count hurt, because it narrows your playbook. You know, you can't call as much as you want to otherwise.
Good point being made. Jim Hunter, or Jimmy as he's known to his football fans and players, Shiraz Soysa, also alongside me here in the commentary box as they look to try and work at the reverse. And it looks like they're going to get some reward for it as well. Gets a block upfield, taken out.
And a flag from the far side.
And there is a flag, so well, we'll look to see what this is for.
You're normally going to find, like this type of thing is normally going to be a block in the back or a hold when a flag, especially thrown by the official at the back. The off official's covering behind the play. Some people often point out that there's a lot of officials. We'll get the call here from the ref.
He is pointing at the South Auckland Raiders by the looks of it. Might be having a conversation around whether they want to accept it.
Takes a little shot at the end, but everything was fair and love and war in a final.
Holding. Offense number 56. That's a 10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
Now that is going to hurt from that amazing completion that they got, setting themselves up into the red zone. Just a false start, as we always say, that's kind of the silly penalty. Like there's nothing really other than ill discipline. And now a holding penalty, and now with 3rd and Kaitaia. So it's going to be a heck of an effort even just to get another first out of this.
3rd and 26 as well.
Great defensive effort coming in from Metro on those. Firstly the penalty, and then just not being fooled by some of the decoys that they had. Let's see what they try and play here, the South Auckland Raiders. The snap is dropped, retrieved, and now he tries to buy a bit of time. Does Petoniesi, running, gets to the point, now he's going to have to hold on to the ball. The flag down, someone was holding as well, I think.
Yeah, I think they're going to call him for a block in the back. I think that's a bit harsh. If the defender turns
Block
while
in the
you...
back. Number 87, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
Boy.
That is going to...
So it looks like they accepted that. That's an interesting decision.
Yeah,
would you have accepted it?
I probably would have declined that. Yeah, I would have declined that to get 4th. But yeah, if the defender, once you've engaged with the defender, if they turn around to show you their back, then you're allowed to continue blocking, right? All blocking needs to be in front, but to avoid the situation where defenders, kind of get a bit comical with it and just turn around to basically get it, it's tough for an official because half the time, by the time they look over, they just see the block and back. But yeah, I felt like that was probably a fair and clean block, and then as the defender turned, maybe held on a little or pushed a little long, but third and Dunedin.
Well, fellas, the Raiders are going in the wrong direction after that brilliant play that we highlighted, the pass to Miracle Severe. They've almost lost all of that in penalties.
Well, they are slowly working their way to their own goal line at this point.
Pitoniesi. More flags fly in.
Yeah, so with a play like this, they were trying to get the defence to jump. So when the defence move offside, then you effectively get a free play as an offence. So by trying to draw the defence offside, you at times draw your own player into a false start, which they managed to successfully do here. And we're going to lose another 5 yards.
No way. Here we go. Here's the official.
Encroachment, defence, 5-yard penalty, replay third down.
Wow. So
Could that have
equally,
been unimpeded on the passer?
well,
Possibility.
equally, if the defender
False
does
bottom.
jump and causes the offensive lineman to move in reaction to them being across the line, then the defence is penalised in that situation. So I think Raiders got away with one there.
No, they've still got a long way to go to get the first down and the completion of this. Third down for them, though, 31. Now a chance to throw. Good support here. Great play. And now he has got an opportunity to get in field, and there it is, batted down by one of the Metro players there in jersey number 42. Yes, Holt, Finn Holt.
There's another flag down on this play.
I think there was a hit that was put on in front of the officials that they might be questioning.
Let's see where we get on a signal here.
Holding, number 87.
Wow.
That penalty's
That penalty's
declined.
declined.
Fourth down.
All right, fourth down. You can probably hear
Fourth
that
down.
wind starting to swirl around about in here just as he's about to kick into it. Yeah, this is probably, fourth and Invercargill, you probably wouldn't go for it here. You might maybe just take your losses. And, it's at times punting, if you can pin the opposition deep into the corner and get the pressure on them, then you can get almost good field position the play after. So it's not that you're worried about, obviously here you'd rather score, but getting into the next series and getting in good position for that as well.
Here is the punt,
Oh.
and it's basically gone straight up in the air.
Well, that negates that theory.
And it did negate that theory because that breeze has picked up.
I think you're seeing a little bit of nerves as well out there, with some of these execution right now. So, and that breeze has picked up. It's blowing out there at the moment, guys.
Well, just an observation from up here in the commentary area is one of excitement and then one of where they get overexcited, and that's what leads to penalties, and that what leads to more mistakes.
First down.
Yeah,
Ball
yeah,
spotted.
it is absolutely a mental game to a large extent. It's big bodies smashing into each other, but there's a lot to think about, and there's a lot to small points like and not small points like being stationary, but there are a lot of small fine things that make a big difference.
Can Meredith produce something special? Quick offload. Now they look to run, and coming up from deep to make a nice tackle.
It's 2nd and 5. It's a good 5-yard gain.
Fatete
Second down.
had to come up from a long way back to make that tackle, but that's good 5 yards. Pick up by the Lions.
Solid gain, yeah. You only need two 5-yard runs, and that's going to give you a first down. So, in that situation, again, still running up the middle, but starting to wear those big boys down on the Raiders' front.
I'm a little surprised they've got the wind at their back and that they're running the ball, though. But as you say, they're trying to work them out and try to bring in the defence from the outsides, and now it is here Meredith. He's going to fly up one of those rockets now, and he did. The
Yeah.
intended receiver wasn't looking that way, and it was mushing guards at. Maybe just a breakdown of communication.
Totally, yeah, I agree. I think, you certainly you want to use the wind as best you can.
Third down.
You still want to stay within your schedule, and you want to think about how you're going to execute for the day. That first drive and that first series, they had a few passes. You know, obviously that one that came off down here that was a little bit far, but yeah, I think I selfishly as a quarterback, I always want to throw with the wind behind my back.
I was going to say, you and your day, mate, if I was sitting here and you were playing, there's no way in the world you'd be handing off to a running back.
Not a chance.
And would be bullets that you'd be throwing everywhere. As Meredith gets the count, he is starting to chance his arm now, but he decides to run as well, picks up the first down, keeps going. And again, it's that man from the backfield again. Fatete, who comes up and makes the tackle, but they've got the first down. That's the most important thing.
Exactly. So as he dropped back into pass, he must have heard us talking about it. But yeah, he set his feet, didn't like what he saw, and that's his weapon as well, as he can run with the ball. So if they do get good coverage downfield, tuck the ball and run, gets a nice first down.
Shiraz Ete is a great defender in the back.
Absolutely. Look, I would have liked to see Tino take a slide there. He didn't need that contact, especially being the quarterback. Really important position in a game like this.
Yeah, concur. Meredith hands off on this occasion. Boy, they are aware of everything that's happening at the moment, and there, Guerrero Villi was the running back, gets ball back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 2nd and 10.
You see the Raiders in there, the second and third defender that were arriving, they're not trying to give him a pat on the tummy. They're trying to knock the ball out. If he has, doesn't secure the ball up properly, then knock the ball out. In American football, possession and control of the ball really can dictate a game. So if they can force a turnover there and get a short field in reverse, then that's going to give them a much better lift.
This is the Premiership final of 2021, repeat of last year's final.
That's the end of the first quarter.
The end of the first quarter. South Auckland Raiders 0, Metro Lions 0 after 15.
And that's an arm wrestle. That is, you've seen both sides have a couple of plays. Seen a little bit of flashes in there, but it's been pretty hard work in the trenches so far, and I think that's going to continue. These are two powerful running teams. They have skills at the edge, so just when you think that you're going to see it in the middle again, they're going to drop a play action and come back. But everything you'd expect in a final. It's been tight and tough. Shiraz, what are you seeing down there, mate?
That last play is interesting. Metro is trying to get a play off before the end of the quarter. Obviously, that wind is being a big factor.
Yeah.
They obviously had a pass play lined up. Didn't want her to throw it into the wind. So.
All right, we'll take a quick break here on Sky Sport Next. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to our live coverage, and you join us just at the snap. False start. It looks like it's from the Metro Lions team, and this would be costly. This will cost them another 5 yards.
And the same.
False start, offense, number 51, 5-yard penalty. Replay second.
And the same in reverse now. So we're turning around. Metro Lions had the ball. They're going into the wind. You can still pass a football into the wind, but it does do funny things with the flight. It does hold it up, and it just makes everything a little bit harder. And if you can avoid it, then you certainly want to be able to keep pounding it.
As a former quarterback, is it you call that sometimes you guys jumped a little earlier on, or what do you put it down to, the false start?
It's going to vary slightly. I think a lot of times, you try and use your snap count to keep the defense guessing. And when your offense is going on your off counts, not always just going on one, then you can get a big advantage with the defense never really knowing when to come forward.
Meredith buys some time and now looks to try and find out one of his receivers. That's intercepted beautifully by the Raiders, and now the South Auckland Raiders in control with the ball. Lovely intercept by Afato. Perry Afato. Well, he read that beautifully, didn't he? Stood there, stood his ground, went high in the air, and got the intercept and more.
Now we do have a flag on this, so we may find... Oh no, Raiders seem pretty happy about whatever the officials are discussing. I think it was a late face mask on the return. I think 22 seemed to get his head yanked off. So it will still be the Raiders' ball, and they're actually going to go 15 yards further forward.
Wow. Lovely intercept by Perry Afato. And there might be more too, so we'll just wait. Now just asking. But let's have a look at this here.
He's just got the inside position on him. He just does enough to stay in. That ball floating a little bit in the wind. As he clears here, I think there's his head snaps around a bit there on the grab. Maybe some afters, but yeah, I think it was all just on the whistle.
Todd Wackrow is in jersey 65 for the Metro Lions, and he played at the face mask or at the helmet. They're not saying anything here. What are they doing?
They're wiping the penalty off. All right, so it's just going to be
Looks like
Raiders.
the Raiders were charged with the penalty there because the goal's gone backwards from where they intercepted it and returned it.
Well, that's where the intercept occurred, but he got more metres on
Result
that.
of the play, Raiders ball, first down.
That's incredible. He caught the ball and went forward.
I'm at a loss.
It looks to me like the penalty was on the Raiders after the intercept. So they intercepted the ball, went forward, and then went 10 yards back because of a holding penalty or something along that lines.
Yeah, so the only rational explanation here is that basically at the point where he was tackled, there would be a hold or a block in the back, which is going to be a 10-yard.
There was a face mask on black, 57. That 15 yards will be added to the end of the catch.
Which wasn't there. Oh, so they may be ruling that when he caught the ball that he was down, which would be the only reason to reset the ball here. But they have actually got that face mask, and they're going to move him 15 forward.
That's what I was. Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense. I thought it would have been 15 yards from where the actual incident was, but as you say, at least we've got the right call now.
Wait for the change.
And after that intercept by
First
Afato,
down.
it's now first down and 10.
Now this is a great time for Raiders here.
Ball
They've got
spotted.
the wind, that tailwind. They've got the energy boost of an interception. See if they can convert that.
Tolu Petoniesi offloads. They try and get their running game going. Boy, he's done really well. Just keep pumping those legs, didn't he? Thought he was stopped, Barry Sewer, but he just kept pumping those little pistons to get them over the advantage line. Sorry, it was Solomoni Masi rather in jersey 25.
He looked stuffed at the line and then just spun out of it and kept going. We do have another flag down. It looked like it was in the backfield. And he got popped at the end just to say thanks for carrying the football.
We got a chop block, offense, 10 yards, replay first.
Interesting that quarterback from the South Auckland
He can't
Raiders
shot block.
has gone into a under centre formation, so he's taking the ball directly from the centre rather than getting it as in a shotgun. Jim,
Yep.
what do you attribute that to at the moment?
Yeah, it's even a short snap can be adds a level of risk.
First down.
So when you're under centre and you're getting the ball directly from inside, then there's not much that can go wrong, right? The ball's coming straight from the centre's hand into the quarterback.
First and 20. And the flag flies again after the play has been stopped, and so this might be a holding call.
Holding, offense, number 75.
Boy, oh boy.
10-yard penalty.
They're going in reverse quicker than
Replay first.
anything we've seen in the first quarter. Boy, this is punishing these penalties.
They are absolutely demoralising.
The speed on Metro Lions' defensive line right now is giving the South Auckland Raiders a whole lot of fits. That's why you're seeing these holding penalties. It's not people making mental errors. It's them just trying to keep up with this defensive line. And what you're seeing is they're a step too slow, and as a result, they're getting caught with these holding calls.
Yeah, we're now first in Christchurch.
Let's see if they can get a play off. They've got the breeze, remember. Now he buys a bit of time. Some flags have been thrown, but he's still going to look to try and get the advantage now. Throws it downfield. The intended receiver is there, and it's batted away by Williams, Darcy Williams, holding his composure. But there is a flag down.
And that is in the blocking area, which is normally going to be a hold or And they're talking to the defence, which makes it 99% likely that they're going to give them the option to take them back 10 yards more.
Holding, offence number 75, 10-yard penalty, replay first.
So even if Tafui had actually caught that, it would have been brought back anyway. But so nice to see that they're chancing their arm, but they just can't seem to get any go forward in this particular quarter.
No, that speed on that D line is just crushing them. And I think, interestingly, you've also got tactics on defence here. So the defence could have declined that, and then they would have lost the down. And they're already, first in oblivion, so they may as well have declined it, and then basically gain a down out of it.
This is pressure. This is what it comes down to, pressure. In the running game again, there's nothing there. Pick up a couple of yards.
A play like that in this situation is you're trying to get the defence to think, obviously you're first and 40, first and 50. So you're trying to get the defence to think that you're passing. So they're going to play soft, and all the defensive backs are going to slide out deep, and then you can get a bit more of a window to run into. So it's not uncommon to get a run in there. Sometimes those will spring. You can score from anywhere on the field with a run, but it's certainly tough sledding at the moment for the Raiders.
Well, Harry Siono, sorry.
There's not many plays designed for second in 45 or so it makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, I was about to say, Harry Siono, their coach, he wouldn't have drawn up a play for second and 45, but they'll just try and get some yards if they can. They fake one way and then they give it up the middle now. That's a nice run, picks up good 15 metres, good 15 yards I should say. And that's more confident play. They really did find a seam on that occasion, Jimmy. It opened up.
Absolutely, yeah. That's little counter play, so they're got a bit of a misdirection there. Get the defence flowing in one direction and come back through. So they play action to the jet sweep, and then that opens it up. And their line on that one for the Raiders, they were downfield creating lanes. You also don't have to get 40 yards in one play. You got 3-4 plays. You want to try and if we can get a decent, you can get a 10-15 yard gain here, and that can be fourth and manageable.
Nice run from Marcy to pick up good 15 yards. Still third and 25. Well, they go for the switch, and now nothing there at all.
Nothing.
Miracle Severe, who caught the nice ball earlier. He gets a gobful as well from one of the defenders as he runs back into position. Boy, this is terrific finals footy.
Tell you what, that was fantastic defence by number 42, Finn Holt. His job was to not let the guy outside him. He took the unselfish play and just forced the traffic back outside. So a really good job there by Finn Holt, not allowing any cutback lanes to develop.
Might have been Finn Holt who sent him back in field. But it was Feki Afu who was giving him plenty of gob on the way back as well. Love it. Love finals footy. And so now the kick with the advantage of the breeze at their back. There's the high punt.
Yeah, probably be a little bit disappointed with that. I think he... It's also, you don't necessarily want the returners to get a return. So if you can kick it deep and to the sideline and kick it out of bounds, then you can just leave them down there. They've got to work their way back up into the wind. So it's going to be tough for Metro Lions here to work it back up. Having said that, they are a very good running team, and we can fully expect to see them pounding it in here.
That breeze is getting cold.
South Auckland Raiders, though, every time they have an opportunity in this game, they've let slip with penalties, so it's looking to be something they'll be looking to clean up for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'll be what the huddle on the sideline is at the minute for the Raiders. If they will eliminate a couple of those, mental errors and those penalties, then they would be having a much better day marching down the field.
Metro with the running game, and there you can see the defence of the Raiders. Helmet coming off. Healthy respect for each other off the field, but boy, they are gladiators when they put those helmets on.
Yep, most of these guys know each other literally through all-star teams and rep teams, and it's a small community. But yeah, absolutely, there's no No two ways about it. It's your brothers fighting, right?
How'd you first get involved in the game, Jimmy?
Second down.
Oh, I started at high school actually. I was we had a Canadian PE teacher who for PE one day decided to teach us some football.
Wow.
And I thought this is quite fun. And turns out I wasn't really playing football. We were just playing throw the ball around. Screen out there.
It is a screen. Well read though.
Very well defended.
More flags flying out there though.
Yeah, that was from the back judge. I wonder if he's going to try
That
and
looks
call
like a
a
horse collar to me.
Yeah, it looked like he got shoulder, but
They
I
call the nameplate now as well, so if you grab them by the nameplate, that's a new rule addition.
Nameplate.
Yeah, so that nameplate area is protected as well now. It used to be just the collar,
yeah.
whereas they're protecting the players a little bit more with a few more injuries that have been happening.
We got holding. Offense, number 32, 10 yards. Replays third. Second. Thank you.
All
Wasn't a
right,
horse collar after
so
all.
neither. But yeah, I mean, you any part of the helmet or shoulder pad area you're not allowed to grab and tackle with, especially the helmet. Any helmet opening you're not allowed to use as leverage for tackling. It's
Ball
obviously
spotted.
dangerous on a player's neck, and your own fingers for that matter. So yeah, so stay well away from that. It's not quite a head-high tackle. You can actually head-high tackle someone, you're just not allowed to grab the helmet open.
Okay. It's a good explanation. But they're still trapped inside their own red zone area, really. Not even outside their own 20, and there's been a false start as well.
Yep, it's the nervous energy trying to get out of that line, and the linemen here know that they're going to be running, and yeah, definitely keen to shoot out and try and get on those blocks early and get established.
Number 81 offense, 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, I thought it was Eric
Replay
Smith, but it wasn't. It was Connor
second.
McClure. 81 they're calling. I thought it was in the front there, but
Yeah, it certainly looked like the line had jumped there, but
Yeah.
sometimes the receivers
Second down, ball
get
spotted.
easier seen.
well, Shiraz seems that both teams making errors that are really costly at crucial times.
Yeah, you just can't afford that in these sort of games, especially when you have the opportunity to take a lead or an advantage.
Well, I'll give you an insight. I did the commentary with the Colts game with Darcy Williams earlier today, and he said to me that it was going to be an arm wrestle. He didn't predict it to be a big score, and he was right. And now they look to try and find something special there. Picks up a couple of yards.
Bouncing around like a grasshopper, but he managed to get about 4 yards out of it, I think.
Yeah, pretty impressive footwork, old
Third down.
Shepherd Villy.
Did well, didn't he?
Yeah,
Tell you
looked
what,
like
he is limping a bit though, so that last tackle might have taken a toll.
Well, they've still got 3rd and 6 to try and
16.
complete the down. 16, actually, yeah, apologies. Of course, the penalties they've had,
Yeah.
which haven't helped.
So here again, you know, if you can get, you ideally want to take from 3rd, you want to get a first, especially this far in your own goal. But equally, if you can get 4th and short, that's going to give you a window to try.
Meredith has the ball in the right hand, fires it to one of his runners who was coming across the field, and the ball wasn't in the same zone.
Fourth down.
Now they'll kick on the 4th down.
Raiders made a bit of an adjustment there. We went with a 3-man D line and they dropped a lot of players into pass coverage, so really difficult to get
Yeah.
a window in that.
Yeah, it was a tough throw to get. He's sort of rolling left, and then to square up the shoulders and throw it back across is a hard one to make. Very nearly completed it actually. So
He needed to throw that ball that you threw to Shiraz Sosa, who scored
Did not hit
that
the
wonderful
kicker or the
touchdown in the flag championship, where he had to run an extra 100 metres.
a lot of
Flattery.
it. Yeah, a lot of that is, you know, with your receivers are running at full speed in general, so you can't throw to where they are. You've got to throw to where they're going to be. And
Or where you want them to be.
where you want them to be. You do actually. There are times when you genuinely will throw in a direction. Usually it's on like a sort of a, if the receiver's just gone and turned around, you might throw the ball to the outside because you can see the defender is on the inside. So you're leading him to the outside to say, you know, catch and run that way. But in cases like that where Meredith has come around, he sees his receivers across the field, he's trying to square up and lead him, but yeah, just couldn't quite get the shoulder around.
First down.
You know, it's a 1 yard difference and it's a completion, and unfortunately in this, but for the Raiders and that win, they are in a very, very handy position now. 30 out, 1st and 10.
Well, they are. on the 30-yard line. Tolu Petoniesi. Running back gives it to him nice and early as well. Waits for a couple of blocks and then looks to come back, but the defence reads it beautifully. No space there and a loss on the down.
Metro line, defensive line is just incredible today.
Well, that's 2nd and 15 now.
See what they're spotting that. Yeah, it certainly seemed like he got a few more than that. But yeah,
Second down.
for a brief moment, I think he felt like he had a little bit of a lane, and then that Metro D line just swarmed him and said, "Not today."
They're not a big defensive line, are they?
I've seen bigger and felt bigger, but
they rely on a lot more quickness off the mark.
Yeah.
Solomon Masi. Here he is, ball in hand again. There was a gap there, but it closed ever so quickly. Boy, that was just a nanosecond. The gap that was there got shut quickly. And with a nice read and nice tackle. Jersey number 22.
It doesn't exist on the team sheet.
Exactly. That's why, because it's jersey 28. Those 2s and those 8s are very similar, aren't they?
Third down.
Yosefo. Lancer Yosefa, the man we were talking about earlier.
Indeed. Yeah, he did a great job there. Just slipped down off the block. The Raiders lineman had kind of locked in on him and looked like he was going to drive him out, but he did a fantastic job of slipping off that and making the tackle in the gap, and stuffing him for no gain.
Third and 13. Now looking to use the arm, and it's been intercepted. Beautiful read by the Lions, and here you can hear the excitement from the sideline.
I think it might have been Adam Felix. Yep, Adam Felix in there, just sat in that lane, read the eyes of the quarterback on that one, I think, and he just sat there and said, "Thank you very much." It was a little slot, yep. See, the receiver was crossing him behind him, and the quarterback would have just seen that motion and then threw it into that space. Unfortunately, there was a defender waiting in that space as well.
I think it was a classic case of the quarterback watching the receiver, didn't see that zone defender pop out of nowhere.
And that's heartbreak.
Tino Meredith with Villy as the run-up, gives it to him. Villy with a great turn and acceleration. Great turn of pace, picks up a good 5 yards on the first down. Boy, he motored as soon as he got that ball.
It was explosive out of there. He looked like he was running for supper there. That was as soon as he got that pill, he was gone. Fantastic little run there, and to be fair, just that ankle tap. If he hadn't been ankle tapped, he probably was going to go for a first.
Gerard Villy is the running back. They've got a couple of players out. Connor Regan, one of the wide receivers. As the snap is called, and now looks to try and go out towards that area, but been intercepted. Another intercept into this game, and now the Raiders with some ball, and inside the half they go into the 30-metre line. Great intercept again.
Yeah, it looked like the same read as the first quarter, where just sat inside on the route, and the ball wasn't quite there, and snatched it. Yep, just
First
inside,
down,
ran up on the route,
Auckland Raiders.
cut inside for a few extra yards, and that is fantastic for the Raiders. And again, this game ebbs and flows. It's just neither team able to really capitalise on the opportunity they've got for themselves.
What impact does that have on a quarterback when you do throw a couple of intercepts? And I'm sure you threw a couple in your time.
Yeah, I think
remaining in the half.
you kind of just have to accept they're going to happen. You never want to throw an intercept, but they're going to happen. So there's no point in dwelling on it. You've got to get out there. You've got to make that play. If you see that if there's a lane that you want to try and throw, you have to back yourself to throw it. There's no point in going maybe, because that's when you're going to get picked for sure.
Tony Essie holds the ball up and then offloads the ball, but he's met by the welcoming committee again. And it's Muller again, Quinton Muller.
Raiders really have to capitalise here. They've had opportunity knocking third time in a row now, or third time in this game.
They would dearly, dearly love a score going into the half. It certainly feels
Second
much better to
down.
go into the half with that score, especially if it's late. It's definitely going to give you a lift and a boost.
Tight game as we expected in all finals, and now Petoniesi is telling his wide receiver to go a little bit wide up. Buying some time now, and they've thrown, and that's gone across the line.
Just behind the receiver again. Ironically, his wide out that he pushed out was looked like he'd cleared the defensive line. So, yeah, obviously trying to create some space for him to run into. It's tough when your alignments are a bit out, because you certainly need that space to run.
Well, Hohua Dave was the intended receiver there, but he had just overrun it, hadn't he?
Yep. It looked like he actually, and it sounds like I'm being pedantic, but it looked like he was coming back towards the line of scrimmage just a hint, and if he'd stayed a little straighter and a little flatter, the ball probably would have arrived in the right spot for him to grab.
Well, they've got to capitalise on this position, this field position. 3rd and 11. Petoniesi fakes, and then he throws the big pass. It's looped up there, and it's another intercept.
He's dead there. It's down.
That would have to be the 4th of the game. Another intercept thrown down around that zone and picked off by Shepherd Villy.
Now that's Niwa Fatuera, I believe.
Fatuera.
So Niwa there read that like a book. He was stayed deep on that. Ball floated up, and Niwa was right there to capitalise. You get a little bit of back and forth with that receiver as well. Niwa seems to have that side locked down at the moment.
Yeah.
That could have been a flag, couldn't it?
Should have been a flag. Yeah, you can't jump in there and taunt like that.
No taunting the opposition, and you're so right. Thanks, Shiraz. Yes, of course, he is on the defensive. Play is Fatuera in jersey 24, and on the offence, he's on the defence, and on the offence is Shepherd Villy wearing jersey 24.
Should keep our wits about us with the 24s.
I'm just going to put the glasses back on.
This is an interesting little spot as an offence, because you're so close to your own goal line that you can't really afford to make any mistakes. And if you run the ball and you get stuffed early, you can lose ground and suddenly you're snapping the ball in your own end zone. If the defensive team tackle you in your own end zone, then that's a safety, and that's 2 points, and you also have to kick the ball away. So this is, well, obviously you never want to give up an interception. This is not too bad a position for the Raiders defence if they can get a couple of good stops and get a good sack in here and put some pressure on. And even punting out of here is no fun.
Another flag, let's listen in.
So we've got a face mask, number 7 defence, 15 yards, automatic first down.
Boy, that's an easy 15 yards.
And
that's a big error.
That bails out Metro. They're no longer in that goal line situation. You know, their playbook opens up again, just like you mentioned, Jim. They're not backed up anymore. So
yep, that
crucial error by the Raiders.
100% a get out of jail free card presented by the Raiders. That is, you know, and to be fair, it's, you know, tackling. You're trying to grab anything, and unfortunately at times you can grab a face mask or a helmet opening. You're not intending to cause harm, but you're just trying to get a man to the ground.
Meredith hands off again. Oh, there's the welcoming committee. Straight back up. And into position again is Villy.
And he just ran into the right shoulder of Pay. Unbelievable. He just turned the corner. He probably was feeling pretty good, and then the defender just popped him full shoulder.
2-minute warning.
He would have run, and all of a sudden said, "Who put Barney here?" He ran into Barney, the big purple, just arrived, didn't it?
So we're at a 2-minute warning here. We've got 2 minutes to go into the wind. What do you think?
Look, I think you obviously want to take a few chances, but equally, you're still on your own 20, and it's going to be a tough sled from here to try and get down. But you may as well give it a shot.
Tino Meredith, the quarterback, Villy, the running back, is going to look to try and go wide, and he's throwing the ball. It's a lovely throw, almost caught. Intended receiver.
And we do have another flag in the line area.
Okay.
This looked like it was a chopping.
We got a chop block, 64 offence, 10-yard penalty, replay the down.
So go call for a chop block, which...
Can you explain that?
I can. It's a strange sounding rule, penalty rather, but yeah, it's effectively, once a player's engaged with you up high, then no other player can come in at your knees or below the waist. So it's a safety rule.
Yeah.
In sort of the dirty days of the 80s and 90s where football was quite savage, you just get a guy basically block you up front, and another guy can take out your knees, and that's career-ending kind of stuff.
Wow.
And no one needs that. So they've completely outlawed that type of block.
Well, I've just been in for surgery 4 weeks ago, so I understand what knees are all about, and I hate to see that. It's a great rule that they've brought in. Safety of the players, and someone false starts. Yep, I think this might go against the South Auckland Raiders, and I think it's Law Morley, jersey 70.
Signal looks false start.
81, offence, full start.
Wow.
5-yard penalty. Replay second.
So all the offense has to do is twitch, and that gives the defensive line a license to go through, right? So they'll call that for a false start. So it doesn't need to be blatant. A twitch is sufficient, and that might have been what we just saw.
That was him again. McClure has been called on a couple of occasions for early starts.
And they've offered him a seat on the
Two
bench
number
to think
81.
about his actions,
Two number 81s
which
on the
he
field.
has taken.
I didn't
5-yard
mean to
penalty.
point him out. I just
Half
heard
the
from the
distance to
officials
the
there,
goal.
and the
Well,
numbers
second
and the players.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it was in the line. It didn't really look like it was out on the receiver, so a bit curious about that. Oh no, they've seen him from mouthguard. That's fair. Another flag in here? Or is that the same flag? So yeah, Shiraz, I think all bets on the first half going for glory
Ball
here.
spotted.
You're
Second
you're a
down.
brave man at second and 35-ish in your own end goal to start throwing.
Looking to run it again.
Yeah.
This is where you look into your playbook for your lowest risk play.
Third down.
Mostly a run up the middle. Tell you what, I've seen them sometimes go off for big plays just because teams aren't expecting it. Or
Yep.
teams are defending something
Timeout, Raiders.
You see how
First
nice
of the
quick
half.
hitter in the middle is just getting the ball out there, giving him a chance to run. Started in his own goal, so yeah, certainly it's a tough spot. Like you want to be closing out the half with something with some energy and
1:38
getting some
remaining
plays
on the
in there,
clock.
and obviously you want to score. But equally, you don't want to give the your opposition 2 points, 3 points, right? Because they've obviously worked for it, but they haven't earned them in a sense.
Gerard Villi was the runner for the Metro Lions. He'll sleep well tonight. He has been involved in everything.
Yep, and officials here just doing a little disco dance.
So we're inside the last 2 minutes of the first half, second quarter. And this the final between Metro Lions and South Auckland Raiders. The Raiders in purple, the Lions in black. Good old-fashioned arm wrestle here, nothing given.
It's like Connor Regan, number 15's checked into the game. They're going with the spread wide receiver look. Interesting fact about Connor, he's just come
Coach
off
is
the
out, order
America's
out.
Cup
Ball
championship
spotted,
team. So
third
trying to
down.
win 2 cups in a week.
Wow.
Be a big week. So 3rd and 35, pretty much a passing down guaranteed.
Drops back and then throws the ball. It was there with the intended receiver being Shepard Villi.
Brings up fourth down.
Yeah, I would wager with a tailwind or an even wind that probably
Heads
would have
up.
carried. Just didn't quite get over the defender, and the defender is allowed to hold his space. So Metro sideline asking for some sort of blocking foul on the defender, but he doesn't have to get out of the way. He's allowed to run his lane.
Crucial
Do
punt
not
here.
hit the snapper or the
Execution
kicker.
has got to be spot on in this scenario.
Still plenty of time here for the Raiders, and that's into the breeze. That's a nice contact. It'll go out at around the 30-yard line inside the Metro half. Final word or final say from the Raiders.
We'll get last chance with the ball here. We'll see if we can get any notion of time. Our clock's not the official clock, so there may be slightly more, slightly less time left in this quarter, or in the half for that matter. But the Raiders, they can use their timeouts. So you can stop the clock in a number of ways when you get in close. You can stop the clock with an incomplete pass. You can stop the clock by running out of bounds, or with a team timeout.
124 remaining in the half. First down, South Auckland Raiders. Ball
1:24 to
spotted.
play.
1.5. Around, I didn't quite catch the announcement there, but it sounds like about 1.5. So that's actually an eternity in football.
With timeouts, that's an eternity, absolutely.
Sacked.
Second down.
This defensive line for Metro Lions comes up big again.
Nico Meredith coming through the middle there, the big 94. Shirt number 94. Great job.
Oh, unbelievable. That pace all day so far on that D-line has just been causing all kinds of problems for the Raiders, be it forcing them to hold, to try and grab. Latu in the middle there has been doing a great job.
South Auckland Raiders bringing big Lance Leota into the offensive line. Lance, usually a defensive player, shows they're trying to address a need at the moment.
Well, let's see if Leota can add his weight and to try and get them some yards here. False start.
Oh, that looked like a free play. Whistles are gone. This is dead. That's not going to count.
Would have been a nice play.
So looking to draw the defence offside, and if you can get the defence offside and snap the ball while one of the players is across the line, then you literally have a free play as an offence. So you can throw an interception and it will always come back for that penalty. So it's a great call. This is where you mess with your cadence. So, the offence will predetermine when they're going to snap the ball. So they're going to have, it varies cadence in terms of what they're saying. Downset HUD is your cliche.
Let's listen and just see what the official
So
says.
we've got encroachment, defence, but we've also got false start, number 17, offence. Those penalties are decline, replay, second down.
So the penalties
That's an
offset each
interesting
other.
That shouldn't happen, really. You can either have a false start or an encroachment, but you can't really offset those.
Okay, well they have.
Yeah.
And so we're down to second down and 13. Piatoni-Essi, another flag flies out. Piatoni-Essi runs up to the line and gets a few yards ahead of it, but there was a holding foul. That's why the flag would have come out from the back.
That is absolutely...
Holding, 3, offence. You want to decline?
The most impressive part about this is that the Metro Lions are doing this without blitzing any of their linebackers. So
Holding,
it's their
number
defensive
3,
line.
offence. 10-yard penalty, replay the down. Second.
So that's Big Lance brought in to try and shore up that side, and he's having just as much difficulty as anyone else.
Timeout. Officials timeout.
Officials timeout.
Injured player, number 37.
Okay, so an official timeout here. Timely as well, probably for the South Auckland Raiders.
There's two
And Jimmy, they've put
Metro.
themselves into positions where they could have done better.
Yeah, I think both teams will probably feel a little bit disappointed that they haven't taken the opportunities that they've created. We've had some great interceptions and some great returns, but equally, it's all well and good to say that we coulda, shoulda, but you've got a defensive team that both of these defenses are pretty sound and pretty stout as well, and they're not exactly going to just sit back and let you waltz in and just take some touchdowns. So I think it's been everything that we were expecting and more.
That's a big injury for Metro Lions there. Henry Jacob, one of their star defensive linemen, comes off the field, so we'll see what impact this has on the Metro Lions defense.
Yeah, and he looked like he came all the way from the far sideline, so he was pursuing out from his D-line position out to the sideline.
Ball spotted.
Tell you who else
Second
was
down.
limping was Adam Felix, and he
was.
is one of their big-time ball players as well, so we'll keep an eye out on that. But now back with live action. Tolu Piatoni-Essi in the quarterback position. He's got the breeze at his back, but he's also got a lot of heat coming down on him. Manages to evade a number of players now looking just to run to the sideline. Sacked.
Bit of chatter creeping in now. It's a good way to get penalised as well.
I'd imagine in your days, Jimmy, you would have got up and said something.
Timeout.
You look to me
South
like you're
Auckland
a
Raiders.
quarterback that didn't mind passing on a little bit of advice to somebody that had sacked you.
No, there are some penalties which I think you just should get a slap for. And chatter when
Yeah,
you
remain
go
in the half.
stand up beside a player and talk schmack. So in America they talk a lot to each other. The officials let it run, but in New Zealand that's pretty much stamped out.
Correct.
So as soon as you
South
get up
Auckland
and you start
Raiders
having a
have one
yarn,
timeout remaining.
you're going to get a flag.
So you're telling me you
9
didn't trash
seconds
talk? Is that what you just said to me?
remaining in the half.
This is on record, remember?
I can neither confirm nor deny. I feel that if I said anything, which I don't recall ever doing, that it would have been discreet and polite.
Nice,
Yeah.
of course.
No, I think, there's also, I think it's, notwithstanding some nations and how they play their cricket.
Sure.
But, but there is a difference between banter and sledging. And so if you are,
Coaches out,
and to be
water
fair,
out.
I know half the guys that I'm
Third
playing
down.
against, and if they're going to, good-natured chip,
course.
I have no problem
Of course,
with.
of course.
But if it's anything too offensive, but no,
Ball spotted.
it's kind of it's like a false start. There's no point. It's a waste. It's just
Yeah.
a waste.
There. No, I hear you. And it was a nice tackle from the Metro Lions. And it was a tackle that had to be made. It was a good one.
Yeah, he slipped out into the open field, and he could have turned the corner, but they again too much pursuit speed and closing that down.
Well, he's going backwards again.
Sets.
Looking to sets his legs, and now he
man.
throws it downfield, and that's a nice catch as well. Good reception. Still got the ball, and that's a nice reception there.
That is fantastic.
Beautiful throw. Bought a bit of time, and that man downfield,
Yeah.
No
Tufui,
timeout.
Fela Tufui
Time
in jersey
expired on the
85.
play. That's the end of the half.
End of the half. So it's not going to matter, but he catches it simultaneously with the defender. You can see there Darcy Williams trying to get a rip on that football. But if the offense and the defense catch it simultaneously, then the offensive team retain possession.
Okay, as we head to the half, it is 0-0. A game that's been played at high intensity, but also they've had a lot of errors in the game as well. And we'll take a quick break here on Sky Sport Next. And we'll be back with more action in just a moment. In fact, no, we've got an interview here. My apologies. We'll head down to Shiraz Soisa. Shiraz, who have you got?
So I've got Lance Leota here. Lance, it's been a really busy first half. Tell me what you think about how you're going.
And it's been a really big game for the defensive side there. Offensive, we're trying to get the ball out, but both sides got their power of defense, so it's keep both sides.
Penalties hurting you guys in that first half there. I thought you had a couple opportunities and a few flags came out on a few crucial drives.
Yeah, it comes down to keys and just communication. I think at the end of the day, it's just boys talking to each other, so we know what's going on.
I saw you get onto some offensive line at the end there as well. Is that going to be a trend we're going to see, or is that just a few plays here or there?
Hopefully we stay on defense. Hopefully I stay on the defense side. That's my game. I'm primary D-line.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Lance. Have a good rest of the game, mate. See you around, mate. Thank you.
Lance Leota with that, and also it's going to be a chance to catch up with the impressive New Zealand Marco captain on the defences, Darcy Williams. And Darcy is downstairs with Shiraz.
All right, and I've got Darcy Williams here, defensive back from the Metro Lions. Darcy, a big play early in the game that you made up for later on. Tell me about how it looked from back there.
We're good on defence. We've been on 11 times. No points, but our offence can't get much going either. So it's been a battle of the defence as it is every time we play these guys. So we just need to outlast them.
Like you said, it's a defensive battle. Your defensive line is ferocious. I haven't seen your linebackers blitz much, and you still get into the quarterback. So what does it feel like as a defensive back with that sort of pressure being generated?
That's the good thing. I can just send the four. I don't have to worry about our linebackers or our DBs. They can just do their own job. Our D-line's shutting it down. We're good.
Are we going to see any changes to the offense in the second half, do you think?
Yeah, maybe a few of us play both ways.
All right, I'll leave you to it. I know you're a busy man. Thanks, Darcy. Good luck in the second half.
Always great. Thank you, Shiraz. It's always great to get an insight into the mindset of a couple of the players, and they're two of the great players as well. Darcy Williams for the Metro Lions and also Lance Leota for the South Auckland Raiders. Well, earlier today I was lucky enough to catch up with one of the ambassadors, public affairs actually, of America who was here. Her name is Angela Kennedy.
John, Sky Sport Next. So lucky to be joined by Angela Kennedy. She is the Public Affairs Officer of the US Consulate General here in Auckland, New Zealand. And Angela, firstly, let's talk a little bit about you. I see the star, so firstly I see the hand as well. What have you done?
Oh my gosh. Kia ora, first of all, and thank you for inviting us and American Football Auckland to have us here. I fell off a bike. I'm not a star athlete myself, but I'm so happy to be here. I'm from Texas originally, which you probably know is huge football country, and the culture of football is huge and part of who we are as people. So being here is making me a little homesick. I'm just so impressed and amazed by the athleticism I'm seeing on the field, the sportsmanship, the passion. It makes me feel kind of at home right now.
So does that mean you're a Cowboys girl through and through?
I am a Dallas Cowboys girl through and through. Yeah, happy to support them.
Well, they're one of the best teams, obviously, in the NFL. We know that, definitely. And they're a team that many New Zealanders support as well. But your job, I mean, tell me a little bit about your job and what you do with the consulate.
Absolutely. I'm the public affairs officer at the U.S. consulate here in Auckland, which is part of the wider U.S. mission to New Zealand, Samoa, Cook Islands, and Niue as a whole. What we do up here that's different is we have all of our consular services, all of our visas and passports come out of Auckland for the entire country. We also focus, of course, on commercial, business, and trade, as well as foreign policy issues. And what we do is we try to make that foreign policy just seem a little less foreign. We do that through promoting exchanges, whether that's exchanges of ideas, of people, of our culture. American football is an excellent example of how we can kind of promote the shared values that New Zealanders and Americans have together.
I'll tell you one of the great things, we love America, obviously. Little old New Zealand here, and we certainly do love our allies in America. And the other thing that we love about America is this wonderful opportunity that you give to a lot of New Zealanders and Pacific Islanders in particular with these student scholarships. Tell me more about it.
Well, first, I mean, exchanges is two ways, right? So not only do Americans love coming here to New Zealand, we are now, for New Zealanders, the #1 destination for study abroad, which we're very proud of, beating Australia recently. So I would say we have a ton of different sports opportunities for students and for, just for people that want to come. But we have so many different ways that New Zealanders can both get an excellent education and a fun sports opportunities. We have almost 500 New Zealanders in NCAA Division 1 and 2. And that actually per capita, New Zealand is the #2 top tier sending country in the world to the US for these Division 1s and 2s. But even beyond that, we have Kiwis studying in all 50 states in over almost 500 higher education institutions.
I've got a friend of mine whose daughter actually picked up a scholarship to go over to America, and she's absolutely thrilled about it. But how about people out there that are watching this and saying, how can I get my child into a scholarship? What do they need to do?
Yes. I mean, applying for a U.S. College is daunting. Believe me, I remember, I know. So we consider ourselves connectors, and we want to connect students with the information they need to make the most informed decisions for their future. And how we do that is through Education USA, New Zealand. You can find this information on our website, NZ, see I did the Z, nz.usembassy.gov, where you can find all of the information on scholarship opportunities. It's like a one-stop shop, study abroad, education advising. We also do a ton of different virtual and in-person information sessions to get people the right information officially.
Well, we're so proud to have you here, Angela. I hope you enjoy your time and that your hand mends as well, and enjoy the finals footy here today. And thank you so much to you and to the Americans for everything that you've offered us.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure.
Kia ora everybody, and welcome into Sky Sport Next. It's finals footy here in Manurewa of the New Zealand American Football Federation. We've got the chairman, Andrew Fraser, who's alongside me, and it's a very important announcement. And Andrew, the TAB, is this where most of your income comes from?
Yeah, that's right. TAB are very significant contributors to us here at NZ AFF, and for that we're very grateful.
How does it work?
So look, actually a little bit of every bet in American football globally comes back to support New Zealand American football and support and grow the game nationally. And the majority of that is through betting on betting in the NFL.
Well, I'd imagine that you're not going to be too happy with the next question, because I'm a big San Francisco 49ers fan. If I bet on the 49ers, what impact does that have on you here in New Zealand?
Oh, mate, we're very appreciative of punters like you and for my beloved Carolina Panthers as well. Look, the fact of the matter is American football is actually quite an expensive sport with the helmets and other kind of safety equipment. So we really appreciate the impact of funding from TAB for that. As an example, earlier this year, we bought about $40,000 worth of helmets and other safety equipment to give to our clubs across the country. And you'll see that today on youth teams, in our women's game and also the men's game today as well.
Let's expand the conversation, because thanks to the TAB, but this is a game that's growing right throughout New Zealand, not just here in Auckland. Tell me more.
Yeah, that's right. So we've seen a lot of growth in American football in New Zealand over the past few years, both in Auckland, which is still our main area for that, but we've got leagues going in Wellington and Christchurch, and we've also got clubs in Turangi, in Nelson, the Nelson Bay Honey Badgers actually, and then also in Hawke's Bay as well. So we're really seeing growth of the game nationally.
It's a terrific sport. You've got to get in behind it. Andrew, your final thoughts?
Yeah, just a big thank you to the TAB and also punters globally around this supporting New Zealand American football. Just to reiterate the TAB message, never bet beyond your means and always bet responsibly. Also can't wait for a great day of games out here today as well.
Yeah, looking forward to the finals today, and don't forget, back the 49ers.
So who'll score first? Us. Who'll win? Oh, us. And total points? Heaps. Know your game? Get more out of it than ever before. Combine single bets on the same match with TAB's Same Game Multi. Now you're in the game.
Don't you want the model? Welcome back to our coverage here in Manurewa. It is finals footy, the Super Bowl of the New Zealand American Football Federation, and it is two of the best teams in the competition, Metro Lions up against South Auckland Raiders, and alongside me, long-time quarterback, is Jim Hunt. After you told me that story, Jim, I just got to keep calling you Jimmy. It's a lovely story. Why don't you share it with everybody? How'd you get the name Jimmy?
I started playing football when I was 17 and a skinny white boy, and I showed up to my first training, and like a lot of sports, football in New Zealand has a heavy dose of Polynesian, and I showed up to my first training, and the guy said, "Oh, what's your name?" And I said, "Hi, I'm Jim." Probably more like, "Hi, I'm Jim." And the boys said, "Oh, Jimmy." And so I said, no, it was just Jim. And they said, Jimmy. And basically, everyone in American football knows me as Jimmy. That's it. You show up to your first training, they call you Jimmy, and that's it.
I think it's a fantastic story. Thanks for sharing it with us. I think it's terrific. It really does embody everything that's great about sport, is that, you can just something that's harmless as an introduction, and all of a sudden that's the name that sticks, and it's stuck with you for 30 years.
It has. And genuinely people don't know who Jim is. So it kind of cracks me up. I do have a few other nicknames, but they're all variations of Jimmy, really. But no, it's what do you think of that first half? I think it's been just defensive battle, you know. Defense wins championships, and I think both teams have really struggled. And I wonder if that's kind of the COVID effect, where they haven't had the season behind them that they would normally have, and they just haven't quite clicked.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Defence certainly wins games, but I think that coaches, in my view, now need to have a look and maybe change their mindset as to players that they actually do develop and try and run, because this is finals footy. You don't get another chance to play in a final in 2021.
That's true. You come back next week, you're playing flag, so you've got to lay it. It's cliche, but you do. You got to lay it all out there.
And it will be first possession with the Metro Lions, because the South Auckland Raiders will kick off.
We've got some injury feedback from the half team. Number 99 for the Metro Lions is back in the game.
All right, Shiraz Soysa's with us. And it's a nice catch by Villy. And so is that the only injury that you've got?
Sorry, I've got a couple. So 99's back in the game. That's a big boost. He looked like he was pretty hurt. But number 37, that is Adam Felix, is out. So that's going to be a big loss in the middle of that defense for the Metro Lions.
And he got a big interception in the first half when the Raiders were knocking. So that is definitely going to be a big loss for them. He's a leader in that group, very vocal. Actually, he and I may have exchanged a few conversations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll leave it at that.
No, he's a stud. He's an absolute stud in there.
Well, I've seen the size of him. That's why I'm leaving it at that. Tino Meredith goes back into the quarterback position, gets it and gives it off to Villy. Steps off the right, tries to find a seam, and the gap closes ever so quickly. And it's that man that you interviewed at halftime, Lance Liotta, making a good tackle there, Shiraz.
Yeah, look, it really comes down to how long this defense is going to have to hold out for the South Auckland Raiders. I spoke to Lance. That whole D-line looks like they're starting to tire, so let's keep an eye on that as well.
Well, who breaks first? That's the big question I've got.
Absolutely. It has been, these inner runs and these inside runs have been starting to grind and starting to wear down, and you're going to have guys not quite get to the spot where they need to make the tackle, and that's when big plays happen.
Meredith again. Calls, drops back into the pocket, now looks to release. That's a nice pass that's been received as well. That's the first throw and catch, and he gets a few more yards down that sideline. Lovely catch. Beautiful from Connor Regan. Kept his eyes on the ball and did not miss.
That is a fantastic grab, and that one there, you see the defender flashes past, very nearly an interception. And he came flashing past there, and he snatched it. Could have been pick six for the defender, just about gets the ball, but instead 30-yard gain for Metro.
That's a high-risk move, isn't it, Jim, from that corner? So he catches that. That's 6 points for the South Auckland Raiders.
Absolutely. You got to take that shot.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the coaches talked about it and the change of mindset now, even into the breeze. They're happy to chance their arm there with the throw from Meredith to Connor Regan. And now they go back to the running game. No space there, and that'll be at a loss of 6 yards.
Up in the slot receiver there, I see Tim Hewley. Now, I may have played football for a long time, but I'm fairly sure Tim Hewley was playing when they had leather helmets, and that man has been a stalwart of New Zealand football for 1,000 years.
You're starting to pull out a little bit of revenge here, Jimmy. I'm a bit worried about you at the halftime break. What did they put in that water, or that Red Bull that you were drinking? What's going on?
I'm not saying he's a vampire, but...
You know that they'll be taping this and they'll be watching this game back, mate. You know that.
Metro after a few years away as well.
Meredith drops back, fires it. It's an intercept. Another intercept in the game, and here they come back with a nice return. Beautiful return. He kept his eyes on the ball. Leo Ete. Boy, he's been good in the defensive play, and he gets another intercept. Superb play from the Raiders.
Metro here just turning the dial up on the pass. They're trying to move the ball in through the wind, executing reasonably well, but that one just off target and paid the penalty.
It looked like the receiver slipped there, Jim, or was that, did he get...
Yeah, it's possible he was supposed to be maybe on a post and heading back in towards that direction. With the safety that deep, it's going to be a tough play to make at the best of times.
Let's not take anything away from Fa'aete with that intercept.
Fantastic.
And then some yards.
Fantastic. This is just what the Raiders needed. Definitely want to get the ball in your hands when you got that wind behind you.
So they've got the breeze at their back, the conditions are on their side, they're in good field position, and now they offload, and here he goes again, and Muller just back to the line of scrimmage, and so 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he's got a very low centre of gravity, but he runs like a Mack truck, and he will actually hit the defender. And then see him push back like that, that is definitely firing in. Kafua there, popped him.
Second and 10. Drops back. Petoniesi breaks out of the first tackle, breaks a couple more, gets some valuable yards as well, picks up 5 on the play. And that's a nice run from the live wire quarterback. Broke a couple of tackles that he didn't have the right to do.
Absolutely. He looked like he was dead and buried 5 deep, and he just spun out and spun out and spun out and turned a loss into a positive and making 3rd and manageable. That would have probably set them, if he'd been tackled at the spot, he would have been 3rd and 15, and now it's 3rd and 5, and there's plenty of plays here. You got run pass, you got anything you want, really, whole playbook.
You'd see the sideline there of the Metro Lions team cheering on their defence. But now it's the offense of the South Auckland Raiders. Can they get to the first down? That's the first mark here at 3rd and 5. Ask Muller to move to the left side. Receives, fires, and they'll get the first down and more as well. That's a lovely play, quickly out of the arm into the hands of Miracle Severe. They've used him on a number of occasions and he's answered the call.
Absolutely, just a nice short pass, catch and run. If the defence is going to play that far off, then you say, we don't mind, we'll take that short pass, and you can always break a tackle, short pass and go. So that's given them a nice fresh set of downs, and they are now looking like a team that wants to drive down the field and score.
Sure is. That's the first time that we've seen a 1st and 10 in a while.
Yeah, and look, we're inside the 30 now. The Raiders, if that urgency seems to be kicking in, so let's see how they go.
Smart play calls. They give it to Muller again, breaks off the first tackle. Picks up a couple of yards, and he's disappointed because he knew that if he had got that line, there was plenty of real estate in front of him.
It was a nice little place to go running through, and it just seems to, both sidelines here just seem to be raising their intensity, and they know that this is the half, right? I mean, it's cliche to say it as you get into the second half at 0-0. Today it's literally 0-0, but everyone's just starting to lift that level just a little bit more.
2nd and 8. So the running game is working for them, so is the passing game that they've used here and now. Petoniesi calls for the snap. Breaking communication there.
Looked like he got back on it there, should stay with the Raiders, but effectively just tackle for 0. Yeah, it's tough there, and in a lot of situations, the quarterback has an option to pull the ball, and so he can put the ball in the running back's stomach and then choose to leave it there, or pull it back and go out to the other side. And in those moments where that mesh doesn't quite happen, that can very easily lead to disaster, where they're driving nicely and then all of a sudden just a simple drop and the defense jump on it.
It's a lot that can go right, but also a lot that can go wrong with those plays, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Severe to the left-hand side of the field. They go up the middle on this occasion, always wide open too. Darcy Williams came across because he saw the threat that there was right down the middle of the field. Don To'o. Geez, he was open. I don't think he realised he was open himself.
He was so open. He was so open 24/7. So he looked like he started in the slot, I think, running in from the bottom here. And yeah, absolutely huge gap. See him in this year. He's coming out of tight end. Oh, sorry, that was a replay from before of that catch and run. So the defence laying off on the receiver, so take the yardage and they're free at that point.
That's the first we've seen of Don To'o as well this game. He was a big off-season transfer from Metro. a stalwart of the Metro club who's now moved to the Raiders. So surprised that we haven't seen more of him yet.
Here's the kick. It's going to have to be executed to perfection because they haven't got many yards between the ball and the goal line. It's just going to run out just short. That's a lovely kick. Boy, he couldn't have done that any better.
That is punt perfection, special teams perfection. If you obviously want to score, but if you're not going to score, you want to pin them as deep as you can. And I think the half-yard line is about as deep as you can pin them.
You're happy with that, Coach?
I would be very happy with that. You know, you certainly want to be keeping the ball in hand, but sending your defence out there when both defences have been firing, and really the offense have been struggling. So good chance to send my team out there.
Have a look at this, Shiraz. Enjoy it. Is that a googly?
That's a dream, isn't it? So the Raiders had a decision to make there as well. Do they try and pick it up before it went in the end zone? But the chaser saw it well and picked that it was going to go out of bounds. So it was a good job all around.
So Metro all in front of them now. They've got 99 yards to go, basically. They'll push forward here just to get some valuable yards, even if they can pick up 1, 2, or 3.
Such a tough quarterback, isn't he?
Very much so. Yeah, it's just to get out of that danger zone. Like when you're inside of 1, 2 yards out, then basically by the time you take the snap and hand it off to your running back, you're usually still in the end zone. And so as soon as you get tackled in that situation, then that's your safety, and no one wants that. And unfortunately, we do have to take a slight pause here as we've got another player down.
Well, in a game like this, Jimmy, where there is 0-all, I mean, it's just going to come down to one mistake, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, at 0-all, 2-0 wins you a game. You know, that's a tough way to have to decide a final. But equally, if you're on the 2-point side of that, you'd take them. It's definitely been quite brutal.
Well, who wants it more? Who's trained harder? That's what it comes down to, really. A good crowd in here as well. We've seen the earlier finals between the Colts, and there's the Metro women that were involved in the final. They were beaten by the Papatoetoe Wildcats 18-6, and a terrific advertisement of women's American football. And the Colts game this morning was something special as well. So Papatoetoe have got the double. And now it will either be Metro or the South Auckland Raiders who will be celebrating this, the big game. And thankfully, the injured player is up and moving. Maui Palisi, as the kids enjoy themselves. Plenty to keep them involved with here as well. This is magnificent facilities here, Jimmy. This is somewhere you've spent a lot of time.
Yeah, I've spent a few hours out here. It is. It's a great area. There's just off to the side of the main field. There's a playground for the kids, and my son loves coming out here for the Flying Fox. In fact, he genuinely associates football with Flying Fox. So I should say, do you want to come Flying Fox instead of come to football?
And I'm sure Sam's a very good boy as well. As the Lions flag.
Movement. Yeah, I think left tackle on that one just had a little bit of a twitch. I did actually hear from a reliable source that we got people in Alice Springs watching the coverage this afternoon.
Alice Springs?
So we are global at the moment.
Of course.
G'day, mate.
We're streaming, exactly. Welcome into wherever you are watching around the world. Terrific to have you with us, and it's great exposure for these young men in this competition, and they certainly are putting their hand up. It's a great battle. It's what you want in a final. Total respect, but no inches given in the cordon of battle. And these are like two warriors, gladiators, who are desperate to try and get that title of 2021.
Metro need to flip territory here. They're spending too much time, and that gets guys tired.
Oh, wow. Again, it's Villy, the go-to man.
Just giving him maybe enough breathing space here to do a little something on third. but still very dangerous place to be as an offence.
So the pressure from that pinpoint accurate kick is really starting to pay off for them now, isn't it? South Auckland Raiders and their defensive team is doing a great job. And holding Metro inside their own 10-yard line. Meredith does drop back. Now looks to fire the ball.
Out of bounds, I think.
May have been. That's Shepherd Villy.
Yeah, lovely ball. Dropped it right in for him. May have been just a hint over the sideline. So if he had kept his toe in, there would have been a completion. And
it was a nice throw, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a great ball. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, this wind, which is sort of, it's felt like it tailed a little bit, but it's certainly back now. It's definitely playing a factor in this game. Oh.
Is that a safety?
That is a safety. A foul that occurs in the end zone also will result in a safety. So this is a huge moment in this match.
Wow.
2 points to the Raiders.
So just explain that for our viewers that might be watching. If there is a foul that occurs
in your own end zone,
right,
then the result of that play, because they can't penalise you at that spot or take you further back, the result of that play is a safety. So they've said that the penalty or the infraction occurred inside the end zone, and so that's going to be 2 points.
Shiraz, that's massive when you think of this game, that it's been 0-0 for most of the game. Boy, 2 points could be the winning and the losing of it.
Yeah, and look, the Raiders, they've been putting the pressure on Metro over the course of this game. They've had a few opportunities now, and like we said, Metro need to start getting a bit more territory, because this is points based off territory, and that's good things that happen. So the Raiders have been able to capitalise. Let's see how Metro responds.
So from that, Jimmy, how do they restart? What's the protocols for something like that after a safety? Who now has possession and who kicks off, or how does it work?
After a safety, the team that gave up the safety now kicks the ball back to the Raiders. So the Raiders are going to also get the ball out of this.
Wow.
And you can see down here that the Metro sideline are looking furious about this, and it's going to be very, very critical that they keep their heads and make sure they stay in this game, because it's still only 2 points. That's only one score. That's a field goal. That's a touchdown. Very much in it. They are going to turn. They're going to have fourth quarter wind.
And so it's going to be a punt from Esra Meredith. Jersey 30, he'll kick it. And more possession for the South Auckland Raiders with the wind at their back.
I think their deep men are optimistically deep.
Ball is free and live. Fallen on by the Raiders though. You were right, they were so deep considering it's a really strong breeze that they've got here.
Yeah, I wonder, I think they were worried about it going over them, but even though it was a punt, in the free kick situation here where it's after a safety, it is a live ball once it goes 10. It's the equivalent of a kickoff for all intents and purposes. So that was a live ball rolling around. Thankfully they managed to jump back on it, and the Raiders will have possession, and they'll obviously try and use these last few minutes with the wind. Ideally they desperately want to get a touchdown here and get themselves a buffer. I think if you can score and kick it, you're getting a 9-0, and that's going to be a pretty tough in this with these conditions.
The run game again given to Muller, Quinton Muller.
Just powering his way through Will to 5 yards. We really had the right zone to get one. Just that desire and that heart, and that's what's going to be the difference in this final.
Gosh, it's been tough for those running backs, isn't it? Players like Muller for South Auckland Raiders, and then you look at the Metro Lions and they use Giha Villy to try and find their yards where they can. It's punishing and exhausting because there's just no space. Second and 7.
Stoppage, but not clear what the officials are pausing for.
Second down and 7. Miracle Severe out to the right again, but they look to go up the front through. That man Muller, Quinton Muller, gets closer. Now just 3rd and 3. Gosh, that was a nice run by Muller.
Oh, and they're going hurry up. They want to use this wind as best they can. Short.
I think it's short.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks short.
So they were looking to try and catch the defense offline. And now it's just inches, 4th and inches.
They're going quick
Interesting
again.
call here. They're using tempo.
Boy, this is interesting.
We'll look for an off snap count here.
Does he push it through himself or does he give it to Muller? Looks to go himself, gets some support, but now they lift him and drive him backwards. Wonderful defense. Beautiful defense coming in. Darcy Williams there, one of the main architects.
Now this is going to be interesting to see where they spot it, because where the ball is, where his forward progress stops, the officials at the moment have spotted him short, so this will be a turnover, I believe. You can see there he's just trying to extend the ball across the plane of the line, but I think it was always well short, and the defense in there just saying no.
Well, do they bring the chains on and measure,
They
or
might
they're
call
pretty
for a measure
confident?
here.
I think they're going to measure, because that's what they're discussing here is exactly that. Where was the ball when his forward progress stopped? And that's why we have the officials on the side, and they look straight down the line. That's their job, to look for where that is. They're looking for a spot. Based on where they've placed the ball, I would expect a measure here.
Yeah, and that looks short.
It still looks just a fraction short. Yeah, so the official on this side has marked it short. He has the spot, so it's his responsibility to say this is where the ball was stopped, and he's called it at that spot, which is well short in the end of that, and that's going to be a turnover. So now Metro going to get a chance.
First down, Metro line.
Approaching the last 2 minutes of the 3rd quarter in this game. It is the South Auckland Raiders in purple leading 2-0. And now Metro give it to Villy again.
And this time the Raiders defensive line come firing in and stop him at the line. Maybe a yard, maybe half a yard gain, but effectively second and 10 at this point.
Second down.
There's the timeless Tim Hewley.
Just looking at some of those Raider players in the front line there. Len Sevi in jersey number 92 and jersey number 70. There's Tava Lomoli. Boy, they've been good. Been very efficient. Back to Meredith. Tino Meredith looks to try and run and gets to the line of scrimmage, uses and just keeps driving, gets the first down. Tino Meredith, the quarterback, gets the first down for the Metro Lions, and do you think they're happy?
Unbelievable. I'm not sure if you can hear them, but that has lifted this entire Metro sideline. They are up. Their leader, their quarterback, looked like he was going to get stopped short, laid the hammer, and then he kept going. Got 5 more, next minute, first down. Started like a broken play, got flushed out of the pocket, and you think he was going to get tackled for a loss, and suddenly it's 1st and 10 and his team's up.
And that's how you inspire your offensive linemen to keep blocking for you as well. You know, when the QB shows that sort of heart, that flows through the entire team.
You see here as he drops it, he rolls out to the right, looks like he's stuffed, and then pop. Knocks off 2 defenders and then powers his way through 3 more. And still fighting.
Valuable meters, and now they look to run through Villy. Villy Going down the centre, starts out the right and then straightens and goes down the middle, picks up 6 valuable yards. Now the running game from Metro. They've sparked into life after they gave up that safety.
They absolutely have, and we definitely have a knee or an ankle here, I think. And we're calling ambulance already straight away.
Timeout.
So that does sound like it's going to be a delay in this game. They've instantly called.
Can we call an ambulance?
So
yeah, so it looks lower leg, which is horrific, and you know, I mean, any injury is going to be horrific, but anyone that you're calling for an ambulance, and it was just as the Metro Lions were just sparking up, and they just had that huge run, and I think everyone was feeling pretty good, and just feel that just air suck out of the balloon, and it's just really hard. You never want anyone, teammate or opposition, really to get hurt, and that's just going to be tough to come back up from.
yeah, absolutely. And we're hoping for the best for the injured players, but it gives the chance now for the other team, just the South Auckland Raiders, now to regroup again. We're so close to the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to have at least a 10 or 15 minute delay here as we wait for the ambulance to come and clear the injured player. So that's definitely, yeah, both teams are on their sidelines now, and we're hoping that there's nothing that it can't recover from. It does rather look like his right ankle is not in the right direction.
Well, the South Auckland Raiders have decided that they're actually going to go back into the shed, maybe just discuss things, how they have gone, knowing that there's going to be a short delay here. So with that in mind, we will just continue our coverage for the time being, just waiting to make sure that things are going to be the plan. And we might take a break here on Sky Sport next, and we will continue with our coverage of the big final, the premier final between the men's teams, between the Metro Lions and the South Auckland Raiders. So we'll take a break here from the finals venue here in Manurewa, and we'll be back with more action in about 10 to 15 minutes, but do stay with us here on Sky Sport Next.
Who'll score first? Us. Who'll win? Us. And total points? Heaps. Know your game? Get more out of it than ever before. Combine single bets on the same match with TAB's Same Game Multi. Now you're in the game.
Kia ora everybody and welcome into Sky Sport Next. It's finals footy here in Manurewa of the New Zealand American Football Federation. We've got the chairman, Andrew Fraser, who's alongside me, and it's a very important announcement. And Andrew, the TAB, is this where most of your income comes from?
Yeah, that's right. TAB are very significant contributors to us here at AFF, and for that we're very grateful.
How does it work?
So look, actually a little bit of every bet in American football globally comes back to support New Zealand American football and support and grow the game nationally. And the majority of that is through betting on betting in the NFL.
Well, I'd imagine that you're not going to be too happy with the next question because I'm a big San Francisco 49ers fan. If I bet on the 49ers, what impact does that have on you here in New Zealand?
Oh, mate, we're very appreciative of punters like you and for my beloved Carolina Panthers as well. Look, the fact of the matter is American football is actually quite an expensive sport with the helmets and other kind of safety equipment. So we really appreciate the impact of funding from TAB for that. As an example, earlier this year, we bought about $40,000 worth of helmets and other safety equipment to give to our clubs across the country. And you'll see that today on youth teams, in our women's game and also the men's game today as well.
Let's expand the conversation because thanks to the TAB, but this is a game that's growing right throughout New Zealand, not just here in Auckland. Tell me more.
Yeah, that's right. So we've seen a lot of growth in American football in New Zealand over the past few years, both in Auckland, which is still our main area for that, but we've got leagues going in Wellington and Christchurch, and we've also got clubs in Turangi, in Nelson, the Nelson Bay Honey Badgers actually, and then also in Hawke's Bay as well. So we're really seeing growth of the game nationally.
It's a terrific sport. You've got to get in behind it. Andrew, your final thoughts?
Yeah, just a big thank you to the TAB and also punters globally around this supporting New Zealand American football. Just to reiterate the TAB message, never bet beyond your means and always bet responsibly. Also can't wait for a great day of games out here today as well.
Yeah, looking forward to the finals today and don't forget, back the 49ers. John, Sky Sport Next. So lucky to be joined by Angela Kennedy. She is the Public Affairs Officer of the US Consulate General here in Auckland, New Zealand. And Angela, firstly, let's talk a little bit about you. I see the star, so firstly I see the hand as well. What have you done?
Oh my gosh, kia ora, first of all, and thank you for inviting us and American Football Auckland to have us here. I fell off a bike. I'm not a star athlete myself, but I'm so happy to be here. I'm from Texas originally, which you probably know is huge football country, and the culture of football is huge and part of who we are as people. So being here is making me a little homesick. I'm just so impressed and amazed by the athleticism I'm seeing on the field, the sportsmanship, the passion. It makes me feel kind of at home right now.
So does that mean you're a Cowboys girl through and through?
I am a Dallas Cowboys girl through and through. Yeah, happy to support them.
Well, they're one of the best teams, obviously, in the NFL. We know that, definitely. And they're a team that many New Zealanders support as well. But your job, I mean, tell me a little bit about your job and what you do with the consulate.
Absolutely. I'm the Public Affairs Officer at the U.S. Consulate here in Auckland, which is part of the wider U.S. mission to New Zealand, Samoa, Cook Islands, and Niue as a whole. What we do up here that's different is we have all of our consular services, all of our visas and passports come out of Auckland for the entire country. We also focus, of course, on commercial, business, and trade, as well as foreign policy issues. And what we do is we try to make that foreign policy just seem a little less foreign. We do that through promoting exchanges, whether that's exchanges of ideas, of people, of our culture. American football is an excellent example of how we can kind of promote the shared values that New Zealanders and Americans have together.
I'll tell you one of the great things, we love America, obviously, little old New Zealand here, and we certainly do love our allies in America. And the other thing that we love about America is this wonderful opportunity that you give to a lot of New Zealanders, and Pacific Islanders in particular, with these student scholarships. Tell me more about it.
Well, first, I mean, exchanges is two ways, right? So not only do Americans love coming here to New Zealand, we are now, for New Zealanders, the #1 destination for study abroad, which we're very proud of, beating Australia recently. So I would say we have a ton of different sports opportunities for students and for, just for people that want to come. But we have so many different ways that New Zealanders can both get an excellent education and a fun sports opportunities. We have almost 500 New Zealanders in NCAA Division 1 and 2. And that actually per capita, New Zealand is the #2 top tier sending country in the world to the US for these Division 1s and 2s. But even beyond that, we have Kiwis studying in all 50 states in over almost 500 higher education institutions.
I've got a friend of mine whose daughter actually picked up a scholarship to go over to America, and she's absolutely thrilled about it. But how about people out there that are watching this and saying, how can I get my child into a scholarship? What do they need to do?
Yes, I mean, applying for a U.S. College is daunting. Believe me, I remember, I know. So we consider ourselves connectors, and we want to connect students with the information they need to make the most informed decisions for their future. And how we do that is through Education USA, New Zealand. You can find this information on our website, NZ, see I did the Z, nz.usembassy.gov, where you can find all of the information on scholarship opportunities. It's like a one-stop shop, study abroad, education advising. We also do a ton of different virtual and in-person information sessions to get people the right information officially.
Well, we're so proud to have you here, Angela. I hope you enjoy your time and that your hand mends as well, and enjoy the finals footy here today. And thank you so much to you and to the Americans for everything that you've offered us.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure.
Welcome back to our live coverage here on Sky Sport Next of the final between the Metro Lions and also the South Auckland Raiders. Joining us live now, and it is the Metro Lions on attack. Reset of the minds. Now they're back into action. Meredith, the running game and the early whistle. Early whistle.
Yeah, the only reason for an early whistle is going to be a false start or some kind of formation issue. The wind's dropped right away, so I don't think that's going to be a factor now for the team heading left to right. And it's kind of third half of football effectively, and it's the sort of thing that can galvanise a team. It's the sort of thing that can demoralise a team. So.
That was a question I was going to ask: is what impact is this going to have? Do you play for your teammate that you know has been injured, and it's been a long delay, but that mindset of just snapping back into it?
Oh, absolutely. I think you don't really need motivation for a final, but seeing your brother down, that's always going to make you want to play for him.
Well, they were penalised, and so the penalty occurs, and now they're back at 2nd and 10. 10 on Meredith, and quarterback opts to try and throw here, and incomplete. Coming through was that man Lance Leota. He's a big unit, isn't he? He's got big wingspan as well, Shiraz.
That's right. He got right through and he got his arm up. And the thing about a pocket passer sometimes is if that pocket collapses, it's not just the risk of getting sacked. It's also got to get out with the big levers of those defensive linemen.
Almost at the end of the third quarter. And this is a good thing because the light, I don't think, will play a part here. So we're just going to continue as normal. And the great thing about it is that these guys are terrific. They've bought into it as well. Jimmy, they want to get the final. They want to make sure they finish the final.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's nothing left to do. Can't come back next week, so get it done today.
Now, as the seconds tick away, we're into the officials' time, and this might be the last play of the third quarter. Nice throw, and they've got the first down and extras as well. Nice breakaway. Eventually brought down, but that's Connor Regan again, and that's been his go-to man throughout the day.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been looking for him and finding him. Great snag out there. He just tucked it in and turned, gained a few extra yards. Connor Regan there is certainly proven to be the target.
Yeah, look, Connor's been a player who's come through their system. Their quarterback knows him well, had a good flag season with him, so not surprised if we see more of him from here on out.
That's the third reception he's received today, and so that combination between Meredith and now it's back to Villy. Villy running the ball, steps on the inside, gets to the 10-yard line, picks up another 1st and 10. This is the Metro that we've been waiting to see all afternoon.
And look at that, Darcy Williams, number 3, comes onto the field. Darcy, a defensive specialist, but he's also a red zone threat. We haven't seen it so far.
Yeah, you see here he just busts through that line and keeps going. It looked like he was just about to break it all the way for a touchdown, but just managed to get the ankles, and Metro are angry.
Nice run by Villy, and good call there by Shiraz as well as to who they've brought on, with Darryl Williams, the defensive player, now out, one of the wide receivers, and there's the flags flying in again, and false start, one encroachment in the area again. There's been a lot of that this afternoon, Jimmy, which is kind of disappointing really at this level.
Oh, there is. Yeah, I think it's coming back from a break. You have a long delay on the sidelines. It's definitely going to take a chance, take a few to reset. It is literally like starting the game again. So these guys are going to need a few plays to kind of get back into motion. Bodies are starting to tighten up, and everything's starting to feel a little bit sore.
Great point that you make. Let's see if Metro can get their first points of the afternoon. Not far away from the end of the third quarter. The snap, fake to Villy, and they look for a big play in the end zone. Incomplete, and well, they were looking for the veteran there, Tim Hewley. Your man.
Tim Hewley. Yeah, absolutely. He still gets open. He's been playing football since probably the rest of the squad were still in nappies. But
There he is.
He's still one and done. He's going to take a little pause.
Geez, he was open there too. If the almost got his hands to it, that would have been a wonderful reception. As now we head into 2nd and 15. The run game again, evades the first, but then cuts back and tries to find a an area that he can run, gets it back to around where the line of scrimmage was. Great defence from the Raiders.
Raiders all swarming in there. That looks like end of quarter. End of quarter. So we are into the fourth quarter. But yeah, the Raiders, they're swarming into there. He made pretty good move. Looked like he was going to be stopped short, but some quick feet and some evasive manoeuvres and a little bit of a positive gain.
It was a long quarter, Shiraz, but it was also the most important quarter if you're a South Auckland Raiders fan, because obviously you got a chance to get points on the board, even though it didn't come in the most traditional way.
Yeah, look, late game, fourth quarter, points on the board's king now, right? So it really depends on what Metro can do here. There'll be a sense of urgency coming out of Metro. I would suggest look out for a field goal kicker right now. They are within range. They're down by 2, so Metro Lions do have a really a good kicker, and that is one of the advantages. So, touchdown's not all they're looking for right now. So that's a second element.
Yeah, they can absolutely take the lead just with a field goal. Don't get 2 trophies if you win by 10. You only have to beat them by 1.
Into the wind, Jim. Do you think that'll affect the kick here at all?
No, we've just turned around. They've just got a little bit of tailwind. The wind's really dropped off, so I think this fourth quarter, the wind's really not going to be a factor. It's actually going to be the light and the way that the ball travels, and the light just is a bit harder as a receiver to judge the flight.
Well, first things first, gentlemen. They're going to try and get the first down.
Yeah, still 3rd and long.
And it's 3rd and long, you're right. The officials just check. And we're almost set to resume this, the 4th and final quarter of the finals of 2021.
It's got Darcy Williams and Connor Regan on the same side of the field here. Wouldn't be surprised if he looks his way at least with one of his early reads.
Well, he's gone to Regan on 3 occasions. Darcy Williams, he wouldn't have thrown to him too many times, but such is the class of the player, the defensive captain for the Black Marker, New Zealand Markhawk.
They're just confirming the down, 2nd or 3rd, so they do technically have enough room to get a first down here. They could be just outside the goal, but I think they've pretty much touched down or turnover here.
Well, Meredith just asking some clarity from one of the officials, and now they're all set. It is 3rd down. The running game, they give it to Villy. Nice hole! Villy straight through, and there's that tackle again. That man, boy, he's been good far. Ete. Geez, he has not missed a tackle all game. Leo Ete. If there was a defensive player that is going to be named in the game, he's certainly put his name up.
Holding, number 51 offense, 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd.
That's a killer, Jimmy. Villy's done some hard yards to get the lines there.
Villy was amazing on that run. He powered through, gets the yardage, gets him into perfect position, and a dagger in the sole as the flag comes firing from about 30 yards out. I think he threw further than the quarterbacks. You see here, he comes up through the gap. Great lane there.
That hits him from a field goal perspective as well, doesn't it?
Yep.
I'd imagine that they just try and get some yards here.
Yeah, minimise the damage. Get yourself in a position to make something of this possession.
Just looking for some yards. Now he fires it. The big ball has gone out. Well, that's a touchdown! Touchdown, Metro! What a throw and what a catch! You're kidding me! Well, the miracle ball has been delivered.
Wow, really? He had no right to catch that. Threw it up into the corner. Receiver comes down with it. I'd rather be lucky than good. That is an amazing play.
Absolutely incredible. Defensive back was all over it as well. He was right up. He had a hand literally within the receiver.
Slide into the pocket here, lets it go, leads him into there, over the back. Yes, that is what you want to do as a receiver. If you want to head for the sidelines, yeah, that's phenomenal effort there, and that may well decide the match.
That is some play. And Metro Lions saving their best for last. Looking for the 2 points. The throw again, this time incomplete.
And a good defensive stop there to deny. And that may well be, that defensive stop there may well be what keeps them in the game. Because they can now drive down and score a touchdown and be well ahead rather than tied. But yes, just what we've been looking for, right? We've had those passes that have just about connected. Finally they connect, and a great catch to finish it off as well.
Great play.
So that touchdown, tight end Logan Matamu sealed that big play of the game.
Oh, Matamu combining with Tino Meredith. And they take the lead for the first time in the game. What a crucial time too. They'd been penalised and they'd gone backwards and backwards, and then all of a sudden we were talking about field goal and the magical throw from Tino Meredith.
Excellent play from Tino Meredith. Very patient in the pocket. He slid up into the gap, trusted his blockers were going to keep that space for him, laid out a perfect ball and phenomenally well held. Like that is not saying understatement. That is a great catch at any level.
So this is where they ask questions, and this is where you get to see what's underneath the jerseys of the men from South Auckland Raiders.
Ooh.
Big kick.
That's fine.
No problem with that. Picked up by Xavier. Miracle Xavier goes in and out and around. Keeps going, Xavier. Oh, that's a great return. That is a terrific return in the circumstances, and Miracle Xavier again showing how strong he is on his feet.
Absolutely. The ball bounced around a little bit there, but they were calm. Picked it up. I think this is the opportunity you want as a player. Here we are. It's fourth quarter. We drive to win. You're defensive. It's fourth quarter. We stop to win. Right. This is what we came here for, and the finals finally come alight here in this fourth quarter.
Really has picked up momentum in this fourth quarter, and that's I think that's an indication of just how great these two teams are. They battled each other in the first three, gave away nothing. There was the 2 points, and then all of a sudden, gaps are starting to appear. Again, the offload to their running back in Muller, Quinton Muller, jersey 34. Buys 5 yards, 4 yards actually, and now it's 2nd and 6.
Yeah, still pumping it in the middle, still keeping them honest in there, and that's going to set up everything else.
A lot of time left in this game, 10 minutes still to play. Again, they look to pound the middle. Nice line. 1st and 10, you betcha. Solomon Massey. Boy, he runs like a steam train. Like the look of this young man.
First down.
Beautiful inside, outside. And once he saw some real estate, he just gobbled it up.
Absolute power. Offensive line now starting to take their blocks and take their moment. Setting that up and giving them lanes to run.
Massey on that occasion. They've got Leota. No, they haven't got Leota. I thought it was 3, but mistaken by the jersey number there. Again, the running game, and it's that man, Leota. In fact, it's Massey, rather. Hit and pushed back, but he got a few yards for his troubles before he started going in reverse.
See the energy on the sideline. The boys are getting excited. This game is definitely looking for a barn-busting finish. If we see it.
We will. Shiraz, this is a repeat of last year's final. Remind me who won.
So last year it literally came down to the last series of the game,
Defense
and the
number 15.
Raiders.
30. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
First down, automatic.
So
Those are easy yards.
Came down to the last series last year, and Metro driving down the field, Raiders stopped them right on the goal line on a deep pass. So from 10 yards out, on a fade route. So
Ball spotted.
looks like we're coming back for another close finish.
Yep, look, Raiders looking to go back to back. Tolu Petoniesi. And he gets about 8 yards on that run. Was Quinton Muller, jersey 34. Nice quick release from the quarterback.
Absolutely, just turned around, gave him a quick hit to the up back, He went firing through
Second
there.
down.
And Quinton Muller is going to run all day. He's going to run hard at you all day. He's going to run through you all day, and he is not going to stop. And he gets in through here, half hurdle maybe. We'll give him credit for half hurdle.
Jumps to his feet. Second and a couple. Now they give it to the second runner, and Marcy. Marcy breaks through, gets the first down. Oh, tremendous run again from Marcy. This is turning into the final that we all wanted to see.
First down.
Some of those holes are starting to open up, Jimmy. You mentioned it earlier. It's going to take time, and it certainly has.
They absolutely have. These
Timeout.
offensive lines now, the defensive lines dominated the first 3 quarters. Now we're seeing the offensive line starting to step up and come through as everybody starts to get tired. And those O-line are really, really starting to cause some problems.
We speak about them getting tired. This is a timeout for the Lions, Metro Lions. They obviously need to re-talk about a couple of things that aren't happening in that front line.
Yep, they just got to reset, get a little bit of magic water in, and then get themselves in a mindset, right? This is the stop for them. They need to make the stop. If the Raiders go ahead, we've seen that both offenses have struggled today. So if the Raiders go ahead here, then that may well be the decider.
Metro Lions' defensive line has been their strength all day. I think we're seeing a few signs that they might be tiring, and the Raiders' offensive line and their running games team is starting to take advantage of that.
Well, one of the injured players for the Metro is the man that's actually doing a fair bit of the conversation there. Adam Felix was down playing jersey 37. There he is. You can see him.
Coach is out. Water
The
out.
grey top on. He's doing a lot of talk. He would normally be out there for them. So maybe just that experience there. That's great to see.
Yeah, I see Darcy Williams there looking a bit ginger on an ankle. So hopefully that doesn't slow him down.
Big time, big moments, big players. Who wants it more? Is this going to be the Muller and Marcy show? Marcy again. This time he tries to get on the outside and he's met with some resistance.
You can see that timeout. The Metro Lions have come out of that timeout firing. Kafoa there
Second
again.
down.
That big shoulder. That's not the first time he's put it into a Raiders player, and it does not do anything except send them back.
Great job, Jimmy, picking up that. That's why we got you up here and pay you the big money.
Metro will be going they will be trying to hold these guys to a 3rd and long. You want to force them to pass it. The Raiders have that momentum in the running game at the moment.
Same Y formation, same running backs. Marcy and Muller. Marcy just didn't open from there, and now it's been stripped, and Metro have the ball. Metro have possession. The clean strip there from that man that you were talking, well, it was Villi. Simata Villi just ripped it like taking candy from a baby in the candy store. Unbelievable.
Changeover on downs.
It has, yep. It was confirmed. You see, got 2 tight ends out here on the right, which
Metro ball.
plays designed to go right, and he cuts it back left and just gets into traffic, and they are stripping it. With some debate there whether forward progress was stopped and whether that should have
First
just been
down.
blown dead.
That's
Ball
a tough
spotted.
call, isn't it? For running back's legs keep pumping, he's got all the right until the referee's called that. But Villi's one of the best young players in this competition as well. So he's been an absolute force on defense today. Comes up with a big play here.
Jimmy, you're the quarterback. Talk to me about these plays here. What's the mindset?
You just want to run clock now. You want to run clock. If you can get another score, that's fantastic.
Hurry
but
up.
ideally, you just want to hold the ball now to the final whistle.
Tino Meredith with Villi, and he gives it to Villi again. Boy, he gets belted. Absolutely belted. Flying up out of the line was Tumanako
Second
Te'i.
down.
He came from Whangarei to hit him.
Got family of Tumanako watching from Oceanside, California here today as well, and from American Samoa, so lots of them tuned in, and big play by him.
Beautiful Māori name, Tumanako. And he's really done his team a favour here by making a big play. They go 2nd and 14. Villi again, given possession, tries to find a little bit of space out on the outsides. Manages to evade a couple of tackles and picks up some valuable yards.
And another flag. Looks like offside is the signal here.
No.
Encroachment. Defence number 77. 5-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
Wow, the Raiders' own worst enemy.
Yeah, you can see here on the far side, it just gets across, just gets a little bit too eager to get around. The Raiders know how important a stop here is. They need to make a stop.
Ball spotted.
They need the ball. They need to have control in order to finish this out.
6 to play. And this the final of 2021. Metro only recently took the lead for the very first time. Meredith drops back, fires the ball. Oh, it was there to be caught as well. And Connor McClure, he's gone to him a couple of times throughout the match, and McClure just couldn't handle it, the heat of the pass.
Yeah, it was coming at him in a good spot, and I think he just snatched it a little bit. You've got to be really patient when you're waiting for that ball. It seems like it's in the air for an eternity, but you just have to wait, look it in, squeeze it in, tuck it away, get going. A lot of receivers like to, in any sport, you've got to look it all the way in. If you turn your head a bit early, you get a bit eager about scoring that touchdown, you've got to make sure you catch the ball first.
Third and 9. Hutt called. Looking, lobbing. Pass was almost there. It's that man again.
He seems to be popping up in a lot of places, doesn't he, Timeless Tim Hewley? Yeah, he very nearly hauled that in one-handed.
You sure he's as old as you say he is?
It's a great route. It's a fantastic route.
Great route into the sideline there, and just about snagged it one-handed. He probably needs a little bit more glue on those gloves. So he's in the slot here. Releases out, comes out of just in the pocket. Oh,
he was open too, wasn't he?
Fingertips. That would have been a first. Now it is fourth and
reminds me of that call of Mark Jackson in the NBA. Mama, there goes that man again. That's Hewley. That kick will be forced out around the 30-yard line. So they will get a chance here again, the Raiders. They'll be pretty delighted with that, shutting them down and making them kick.
Absolutely. It was a cheap series in terms of time, because at the moment for the Raiders, time is the money. So they need to get this ball, which they have, and it's now in their hands to drive it down the field and finish it off, or it's up to the Metro defence to shut them down again, because they have been dominant today.
Well, his go-to player has been Miracle Savia in jersey 17. He's gone to him on 3 occasions. He's been one of the only wide receivers that he's actually found a little bit of a combination and faith with.
Yeah, we've got the double tight end right again here, so we'll probably
expect
a heavy run right.
But they look for the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage again.
Double bluffing. Show it right.
Big
Go
Billy
left.
again.
Yep.
He just made a forced fumble. He's stripped the ball on the other end. Just comes up with a big run stop right now.
Yeah, this is big moments. These are very, very big moments in this final. Certainly the defensive line seem to have got the wake-up call, and they are firing again.
Still another chapter to write in this book. There's something that's going to happen here. You just sense it. That something is going to happen. Something has to give in this game. It's been played at a frantic pace. And you just get the feeling that there's another twist to this story.
Oh, you do. You cannot write off this Raiders team. They are the defending champions. They know what it takes to win. They know what it takes to take these big moments, and they are absolutely going to keep driving this field.
Third down.
In a bit of a hole, 3rd and 11. So, I think at this point you're not going to be punting on 4th. You're going to be going for it on 4th. You've got to. There's no second option.
Let's go, quarterback.
Jimmy Hunter alongside me with Shiraz Soysa. And we're entering the last 4 minutes of this, the final of 2021. The fake, and then the throw down to Miracle Savia. Savia had it on his tips, on the tips of his fingers. It was there. It was in the perfect place. Savia was there as well, and it is incomplete.
That is crucial. You're inches away from the phenomenal play to set up this final. just pops off.
I think the safety got a hand to it as well right at the end. That just makes it that much more difficult.
So great play action look there, just across. The safety does just enough to get in his vision, and that
Fourth down.
moments. Fourth down here.
Leave the centre.
They are in
With
punt
3:45,
formation.
they are going to kick. Maybe they think they can actually kick it and still get enough time to hold Metro down to get one more possession. That's obviously the mindset of the coaches and the players.
Punt or
Here is the
fake.
punt.
Well, I'm genuinely surprised with that call. I think you're probably at a point now, this is giving the ball back to Metro. All they have to do, hold on to the ball, a few runs, and that's just going to run this clock out.
I'm going to argue with you. I think that's a good decision. I think their defence has been working so well that they can hold Metro for this, and they want better field position. If they'd gone for it there, Jimmy, and handed the ball over, they would have given Metro a good field position. Here, Metro are going to have to work harder.
Absolutely. But their net gain out of that punt, which was not especially deep, is only going to be, about
First
10
down.
yards on that. And I don't think that's material, right? This is a championship final. There's no point in going home and going, maybe we could have gone for it on fourth, right? You've got to go for it. This is the time to go for it.
Well,
They do
let's
have
see.
all 3 timeouts in the bag as well, and they've got the 2-minute warning, which does stop the clock.
Yep. We'll see, Jimmy.
All right, 2 against 1.
Villy handed off the quick ball, gets over the advantage line, gets around 6 or 7 yards for his troubles. This really is becoming the Villy show.
Oh, we do have a late flag.
And a late flag is
It looked like the
not what you
receiver
want.
came around the back of the pile and just clipped someone in the back, senseless clip in the back, and he may well have cost his team 15 here, and we do have another injury timeout. But yeah, it's that kind of ill-discipline. The play's over. There's nothing, and receivers sometimes try and get a little bit of a pop on someone because they often are on the receiving end of those. But yeah, that does look like a pointless play.
Did a flag come out for that?
Yes, yeah, I saw a flag come in from the back judge on there, so we definitely got a 15 on that. Well, actually, it could be 10. They could call it as a block in the back.
Penalty, number 24, offence, late hit. After the play, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run.
Yeah, so they have called him for the contact foul rather than a block in the back foul, which is a fair call.
15 yards, though, that's valuable.
That is huge. It would normally stop the clock. We'll stop the clock anyway at the moment, but that's also, the Raiders, they need the time. They need seconds on the clock in order for them to do something. Right, our defensive player is back up on his feet and he's walking off under his own power, which is great to see. He's going to take a little sit down, some magic water, and he'll be back in soon, I'm sure.
So it was an injury timeout, and now they just regroup. And it's just a matter of just keeping your head, as you said, Jimmy. It's the discipline, isn't it? You've got to keep your discipline at these important times of the game.
Absolutely. That may well, be a decisive penalty, and it was a nothing penalty. There was no reason to do it. It was completely off the ball, and it may well cost dearly.
So they go from what would have looked like a 3rd and 2 to now penalised, and they're back, and now that's 2nd and 16.
Yeah, it's a much different prospect, right?
Spotted.
2nd and 2.
Down.
You can run it, you can pass it, you got everything going, and now you're pretty much. I mean, if I'm Metro, I'm still running because I want that clock to, as much as the Raiders want the clock. I trust my defense at this point. They've balled out all day, punt it down deep, pin the Raiders in, let your defense sort it out, get that D-line flying around and finish this game.
Gerard Villy, the running back. Tino Meredith, the quarterback, and there he is, Villy again. So just looking to just buy some meters. It's going to be now 3rd and 14.
Yep, the distance now, it's not quite irrelevant, but it's almost
Third
irrelevant.
down.
It's about the clock running and not giving the Raiders any time to do anything at the end.
Well, that's the point that you've made. They have got some timeouts here, though, the Raiders, and they've also got that 2-minute warning. So 4 possibilities to slow the clock down.
So I've got confirmation from the field. We've actually got 4 minutes at the moment.
4
So
minutes, plenty of time.
The time on there is inferred. We don't have it electronically hooked up, so
Well, that's even better. That's the reason why they did kick, Jimmy.
Yeah, all right. I'll go 3 for 3. We all said he should have punted.
When you would win you around, mate.
I would have with 4 minutes.
Pass out wide.
Fourth now and incomplete. So this is stopping the clock again, which is also working in the Raiders' favour.
That's good playing.
It looks like they're sending in punt unit here, which is 100% what you want to do for Metro. They're 4th and long. Called for 1 more, got 2 more. That's a boomer. That's a great punt. That's about as good as you can do. You know, trust your defence. They have been phenomenal all day. And I would probably put my money here that Metro are going to close them out. They're just going to strangle them out. We would expect, you know, there is a 2-minute warning. There are 3 timeouts for the Raiders. So that is a very long time in football if they use their timeouts and they use their play calling. If you get out of bounds, it's going to stop the clock as well. So there is still plenty of time. It'll probably be midnight before they use the clock.
You'll be the only one here.
Where's the Raiders ball?
The lights are on. On the car park.
Exactly. Dogs on the porch, but no one's home.
All right, championship moments. Here we go, Raiders.
Something else is there. A big run is poised. They've worked away, they've chipped away. You just get the feeling that the running backs are just going to try and find something special. Will it be Muller who gets the ball now? Muller charges in. Same result that's been happening for the last hour and a half.
More pound. You can see also in this formation, they're very heavy run formation at the moment. They've just got Miracle Savia, the only receiver out to the side there, just on an island. It's just him one-on-one, mano a mano. What's he got on that defensive back? Who's going to win that battle? I mean, he's got Darcy Williams over the top, which if you ever wanted to have a safety as support, Darcy's going to be your man.
Yeah, it is a very attacking sort of formation, isn't it? Just with the runners.
Free play.
Goes back and he's going to look for Savia. He's given it plenty of air. Savia's running. He's got him. Savia. It's over 20. The 10. Savia. Touchdown. Touchdown, the Raiders.
Unbelievable. Picked it, Willie Losey. Still something in this game to give, and the Raiders just sent it all the way to the house. Unbelievable. Speaking of miracles, there's a miracle.
What a reception. What a pass.
You see here, we got the defense offside. Gets a free play out of it, doesn't need it. Sends it. Lovely. Perfect. In stride. Just gasses him. Man on an island. Makes the play. Enjoy that celebration.
That is some way.
Ball spotted.
When you're down and out, we thought there was something special that could happen here. And they have responded, taking the lead 8-6.
2 minutes.
The South Auckland Raiders looking to go back to back to break the heart of the Metro Lions again. Looking for the conversion. This is the conventional and this is the right decision.
Absolutely, yeah. If you kick this, then you're going to go 3 points up. So even though we know the Metro have a good kicker, that'll only ever get a tie.
Lacatini with the field goal. Kicks it.
Waved off.
No, waved off.
So 2 points. 2 points. A field goal can win it. Still a game to play.
Of course there is. There's still plenty of scripts to write here.
Oh, absolutely. And you can guarantee that Metro will be throwing it at the wind here.
This is a Dan Brown novel. And you can't put the book down and you can't move away from the television at this time. If you go to put the kettle on to make a cup of tea, you're going to miss something very special. What a fourth quarter we've been treated to.
Absolutely. There's been more action in the fourth quarter than the first three. Well, more offensive action in the fourth quarter. Yeah. But what a show they are putting on for us tonight.
That first three, it was just so tight. There was just no gaps, and that really just goes to show the quality of these two sides. at that line of scrimmage, and their running backs trying to get some momentum, trying to find something. There was nothing there, and all of a sudden we've seen a couple of miracle bomb throws, and coming from a former quarterback, you must be thrilled.
Oh, the smile. As soon as I saw that ball go, the smile was on my face. Like, you could see that he had a step on him, and he just needed to hit the pocket, landed right in the buckets, and he was away. Now this is where the boys are going to sling, right? Tino Meredith, he can throw a pass. So we know that Metro are going to come back in here and they're going to fire all guns. Everything they got left, away we go. This is going to be 2 minutes of fury.
This is the season. And now what have Metro got? How do they respond? Nice kickoff into the corner. Not too much they could do there. And they will hold on to possession. Will the Metro Lions, Shepherd Villy. Was the man that claimed the ball, but now it really does fall back onto the shoulders of Tino Meredith. Thought that he had done it with that wonderful long ball that got them the first touchdown and got them the lead for the very first time in the game, and then the Raiders respond. What happens here now? Quarterback, you're my quarterback.
2-minute warning.
You got to sling it.
2-minute warning.
Oh, is the 2-minute warning as well?
4 seconds remaining.
So the 2-minute warning means obviously there's 2 minutes left in the quarter. That does change the timing rules, but I mean, as far as Metro are concerned, they just need to move the ball. They need every single completion. They need every single play to execute.
What a total contrast to what you said just around 4 or 5 minutes ago, where it was play out the clock, just hold on to the ball. Now it's about throw the ball.
Exactly, and it's been an emotional roller coaster all afternoon for them.
Meredith.
He's setting it up.
Looks and couldn't find one of his runners, incomplete. 2nd down and 10. And this is what pressure does to a quarterback.
Absolutely, and the light is genuinely becoming a factor for these receivers. The Metro Lions need to be passing. The light's fading. You got dark trees around it, and you just got a ball popping out of nowhere. It is actually very, very difficult to judge the ball now that this light's dropped away on them.
Well, the great thing about our cameras and technology these days is that people watching at home or anywhere around the world think,
quite sunny,
what are you talking about?
Yeah. I can assure you it is very dark here.
I concur. 2nd and 10. Metro down by 2. What else could possibly happen in this game in the 4th quarter? Meredith's got Villy there, not looking to run, but looking to pass. Almost intercepted there too. Put himself in a really good position to try and make that interception.
Big tight end Logan Matamu again, the touchdown scorer from earlier.
He's the go-to man, isn't he? Why wouldn't you throw to him after what he achieved in the first reception that he took?
Can we pay that kid $1 to pull his pants up? Apparently it's the style.
Well, apparently it's a backpack.
3rd and 10 now. This is absolute crunch time for Metro.
Steps. Beats the first defender, beats the second. He's going to run all the way. Gets held, and well, did that come in late? No flags have flown in.
No flags. I probably would have expected a flag on that. Quarterback was on the way to the ground, and there was extra contact after he was down.
1st and 10.
Big first down. Again, Meredith picking this team up on his shoulders and saying, come with me, boys, come with me.
That was a big play. They needed to just keep possession at a crucial time. Now they get another 4 downs to try and get that 10 metres just to work their way inside the Raiders' half. Still on the 38-metre line.
Yeah, you see the Raiders now, their defense is playing very, very soft shell. They're sitting there.
And here goes Billy with one of those beautiful runs. He picks up the 1st and 10, immediately picking up 12 yards on that run.
It's carved off 12 yards, one run just up the middle. As you see, the defense now is playing super, super soft. They're worried about the pass. Right? As a defense now, if you take these 5, 6, 10 yards, they don't care as much. They do not want to get scored on deep. So their safeties are in oblivion.
Wow. And there are easy yards there that we just saw from Villy and also the quarterback in Meredith just earlier.
Which is a tough risk reward, because if you run the ball and you get stopped short, that clock's going to keep ticking on you.
Great point that you make as well. Time of essence here. Meredith doesn't use Villy on this occasion. Stops. Balks. Tries to straighten up. Gets sacked. And the time continues. Timeout called.
Yeah, quick timeout there from
Timeout
Metro. They
Metro.
really need to preserve as much time as they can.
Second down.
We remind that the clock on the screen here is not the official time. The officials on the field have the time. It's just our indicative time up here.
And that clock that you see on your screen is ticking down where a timeout means that the clock stops. Just explaining for people who might be new to the sport.
I think we've got about 50 seconds to go once the clock's been adjusted.
44.
44 seconds from the official. Thank you for that, sir. Tell you what, you weren't far off, Shiraz. Boy, you must have a sundial somewhere around here or something, have you?
Every offensive coordinator knows game clock, knows how to run them down the last 2 minutes.
Here we go. Oh, here we go. All right, coach.
What are you dialing in here? What are we dialing in here? Second and quite long now. 44 seconds is still plenty of time. As long as you can get, you're going to need a couple of completions, right? You're going to need at least a couple of completions. They only need to get to field goal, right? They would obviously dearly love to score a touchdown, but if they can get into field goal range, they would back themselves to kick this.
Wow. That's a great call.
South Auckland Raiders are playing 2 deep safeties at the moment, so they're trying to not give up anything deep. So Metro might be looking for something a bit shorter and a bit of a catch and run opportunity as well.
2nd and 7. 44 seconds on the clock from when it snapped. Meredith with possession, looking for the long ball. Gets away from the first and the second, now looking for a runner, a little pop pass over the top there. Almost intercepted. Almost intercepted.
Third down.
From Afato. And if Piri Afato had intercepted that, it was game over.
That was absolutely game over. Equally, good positioning of the ball from Tino Meredith, right? He put it away from the defender, who nearly got it, but nearly doesn't count for an interception. You've got to actually get it. This is still all to play for, and we are now 3rd and 14.
And with it being incomplete, Jimmy, that stops the clock, obviously. So they only took about, 5 seconds off the clock on that play?
Absolutely. So they've still got plenty of time from that as well.
3rd and 7. And they've brought on Darcy Williams, sorry. Darcy's on the field. Is this the moment where they pull something out of the hat?
He's looking that way.
Williams is not there, but coming back on a shorter route was the other man that he's gone to on a regular basis is Connor Regan.
Yeah, Connor Regan there, just dropping into a little hole. With the soft defense, you're not too, trying to throw over the top of 2 safeties deep is a tough throw. And they know that you need the yardage, so they're just sitting back there and waiting for you to try it. So throwing into that interim area and that mid area where you got that outside route, he was open, just another yard up, and that would have been a first down. So we're now 4th and 14. This is a game right here.
Well, we've just been told too over the speaker, 28 seconds. This is it, do or die. This is your season.
Months of training, this moment. What have you got?
Is there something left? Is there another chapter to write?
Timeout Metro.
Timeout Metro.
The players seem quite disappointed with that timeout. There's a timeout from the Metro team, and they seem to awe that. They were not impressed. I think they were ready to go.
Didn't like the look or the play they had for that look, I'm guessing. South Auckland Raiders seem to have something the coaches were worried about. Might want to talk it over, maybe change the play up in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. This is finals defining moment. There is no point in running a play that you're not happy with. It's 4th and go. If you don't complete it, there's no point in trying to conserve your timeout because it's not going to matter.
Connor Regan has been the go-to guy for them. Matamua, who scored the touchdown, was one of the only other receivers that we've seen. And really, if you've got a guy like Darcy Williams who looks like he's hobbling a bit, but why wouldn't you use him? Why wouldn't you sort of ride out a play that would bring him into the game?
I was going to troll him. He's got hands of a defender. No, there's a long-running tradition, which is the reason people play defensive back is because they can't catch. But that's unfair to Darcy. He is a true two-way player. He can catch some. He's caught some phenomenal passes, I think you've got to trust your guys. You've got to throw it in their area and say, go get it. We need it.
Well, you said that, Shiraz, that they've used them inside the red zone in the past.
Yep, and this is that sort of situation, right, where you just want a big receiver to make a big play.
Final moments of the final of 2021. Metro need a miracle. The Raiders want the ball. Meredith drops back. He's going to get some pressure on him. Meredith needs to pass. He's going to try and run it out from there. He won't get the first down. And that will now pretty much ice the game for the Raiders. They look to go back to back. The South Auckland Raiders, that was 4th and long. They didn't get there.
The Raiders had a 3-man pressure and they flushed the pocket out. That is incredible.
What do you mean by that, Shiraz? Explain that.
So in a situation like that, they dropped a lot of players into coverage to take away the passing routes. They left only 3 players against 5 offensive linemen, and those 3 players flushed out the pocket as well. So, just an insane effort there from that defensive line.
Unbelievable. And Tino Meredith trying his ball just to will them past that line. I'm not sure he knew it was 4th. I think on 4th there you may as well just throw it up, but he still went for it and very nearly got the first, and that was just about it. I'm expecting here, I'm not sure how many timeouts actually the Metro have, but you just about take a knee time for the Raiders. They do not really need to run any plays.
Well, this final has lived up to the billing. 3 tough quarters where very little given. And now an opportunity. They do just that. They take a knee. They look at the officials and they start extending the hands. Is there still time to play?
I think that will be the game. The officials are looking at their watch. And there it is. Your 2021 champions, AFA champions, are the South Auckland Raiders, who have prevailed here in a titanic battle, 8-6.
Yeah, what an epic final. And they go back to back, the South Auckland Raiders. They won it last year. They have turned up, and they've turned up the heat as well. This is what it means to them. And South Auckland will be celebrating another title. Terrific game, in particular the 4th quarter for me, Jimmy.
Unbelievable game, unbelievable game. It was that titanic defense on both sides that battled it out, and in the end, offense prevailed.
So, thanks for watching our coverage. It's been a long day, but from all of our commentators and our technical crew and camera, who have done a magnificent job under trying conditions, thanks for watching our coverage of the New Zealand American Football League. We bid you farewell, and we look forward to seeing you and hearing you again very soon.